And we are live! I'm starting to think maybe I should make a supercut of that once we finish this work, because apparently I just say that every time at the beginning. How's my audio, everyone? Let me know if there's anything wrong with it. I'm sure Ray will, as always. Titus. Hey, Tethys! Hey, Ray. A gorilla? I don't remember that. Yes, I always knew I was wrong, but I always heard the Titan theme as pounding a gorilla, Titan. So I thought, I don't know what else to name this. I'm going to do that for the name. Titus is definitely a gorilla. Hey, Auroria. Yep, hope everyone is well. Hope you are well, Auroria. Hope everyone is well. Yes. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Glad to have you. Hello. D. Hey, D. I haven't talked to you recently. It's been so long, D. When was the last time we chatted? Nicole. Hey, Nicole. Good to have you. What? Brotherhood. Hey, glad you can make it. It's a great name again. Well, I'm glad they're pleasing someone. I don't remember who it was. I might have been you, Brotherhood. I cannot recall who said it in the first place. It was like, you should try naming them that. And I was like, I'm kind of mixed for a bunch of different reasons, archival reasons, but also like name tagging reasons, because like if it's too long, it shows the first part of the name, but it doesn't show like the MSQ replay or part whatever. But I think you're probably right. In the long run, it's a lot more fun. I may go back and make it so like part 1 stays part 1 or something, and then I rename part 2s through like 4 that don't have names, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm going to get going with the warrior quest as our little warm-up before we get going while people trickle in. Also, I thought this was funny, but for XP bonuses, the cheapest thing I found on the market board was grape juice. So now I just have, like, in my headcanon, Elio's just running around chugging grape juice, and I guess that's now his favorite drink. I do not have grape juice. However, I do have Mountain Dew. And, oh no, I didn't bring it down, but I had a code red that I brought. Sadly, I don't think Vane Dog is in chat, but I always like to pour one out for Vane Dog with code red. Hey, Genesis! Good to have you. Glad you're here. Hey, all. Hope everyone's doing well. Yes, indeed, to everyone. Tillier! Good. Glad you're here. It's all the regulars, and I'm sure others besides, but it's always good to have you guys. It's a lot more fun to have people to talk to while we go through this. Oh my god, this guy has an Eorzean that looks just like Elio. Hello, Gon, my friend. It is quite obvious that you've been anything but idle in your training since last we met. Your progress is heartening to look upon, truly, but it is also serving to remind me that each hour I spend poring over ancient texts is an hour not spent honing my skills. I fear my worth on the battlefield is diminishing day by day. Yet I am certain that my studies of the Chronicles will yield something of use. In fact, just last night, I discovered how the warriors of my tribe came to be, shunned by the outside world. Upon witnessing my people's prowess with the axe, the armies of the city-states began to incorporate similar techniques into their own training regimens. These are the selfsame techniques I have been instructing you in, Elio, ones which call upon the inner beast. The consequences, of course, were dire. Yes, their soldiers become nigh on unstoppable, but they also become wholly uncontrollable, and both friend and foe fell prey to the ensuing carnage. Of course, the heads of the city-state laid the blame for these atrocities solely at the feet of my kind. You know, seeing as the fact that the Hellsguard have been around since at least all the 6th Astral Era, and probably likely before, I wonder if he's referring, when he said city-states, I wonder if he's not referring to the modern city-states of Eorzea, but perhaps he could even be referring to Nim, Mach, and Amdapor, depending on when the Hellsguard Exodus is. Because we know it happens before the Seawolf Exodus, but how many hundreds of years, I can't think that we know exactly for sure. Me, Gorilla? Me, Gorilla. Hey, Bull, glad to have you. Hey, Professor, glad you're here. If Elio doesn't drink his grape juice, the beast within gets angry. Exactly. Which do you guys prefer, Titus from X or Kingdom Hearts? I mean, like, Titus from Kingdom Hearts is only a little boy in Kingdom Hearts 1, so, I mean, like, X. Unless you mean something else. I may not speak much, doing my own replay on the moment. Hope that everyone enjoys. Yeah, no worries, Rory. I'm always glad even if people are lurking, and even if not, thanks for popping by. The consequences, of course, were dire. Yes, oh, no, we already read this. Promptly banning the ancient arts and imprisoning anyone suspected of teaching it. Or so the chronicles say. What I find hard to grasp, though, is that never once during my training did my brother hint at this dark history. Nor have I myself ever seen one of my tribes succumb to the rage that the chronicles describe. Could it be that the tales are mere falsehoods? Stories concocted by some long-forgotten enemy who would poison our heritage and befoul our tribe's name? Who in their right mind would seek to sully something so pure? And why would my ancestors simply bow their heads and suffer such ignominy? That my people should be so weak, so utterly bereft of pride, it is inexplicable. I refuse to believe it. It matters not if these claims are groundless. If they prompted my tribe's art to fade into obscurity, then the damage has already been done. While I, for one, will not turn a blind eye to this injustice. If none of my people will give the lie to the stories that have so tarnished our reputation, it shall have to be me. But once again, I lose myself in the history and forget the present. If you recall, I spoke to you of my former comrade from the Company of Heroes, and the great woolly beast we have been pursuing. The beast remains on the loose, and to toss a ponds of salt on the wound, fell creatures that appear to be its minions have been wreaking havoc on the innocent residents of Wineport. Were you and I to succeed in quelling the threat, surely the people would see the warriors are no fearsome beasts, but valuable allies. Together, Elio, we will win back our proud name. Now let us away to Wineport to meet with the captain of the militia. Are we second monitored content? It's funny you say that, Ray, because I'm not sure if you were saying is the Eorzean Archive second monitor content, in which case, you know what? Second monitor content, we still get the views and the interactions. I will say, yes, do I prefer to be primary monitor content? Yes. But I'll take secondary over none. But also, seeing as chat is on my second monitor, I thought you were saying that is chat second monitor content. Speaking of grapes, I never liked the idea of stepping on grapes to make wine. I prefer using a press. Not that I drink, mind you. Yeah, I don't drink much either, AC. I do some. But yeah, it is kind of gross. I mean, like, fermentation fundamentally is such that, like, if the idea of stepping on them is gross to you, I mean, like, the fermentation process as a whole probably should also squeeb you out. Sadly, we gotta cope. Yeah. I watched the stream on mobile. Oh, cool to know. Well, either way, glad to have you. Most streamers focus on chat, but he's enjoying the game. Impossible! What a strange notion. Yeah, it's this idea, right? It's novel. It's called balance, where you can do both. The glorious warrior quest. Hey, Raiji Majiwat? Magai? Raiji? Majiwide? Majiwind? Magiwind. I'm gonna go with Magiwind. Raiji Magiwind. Glad to have you. Glad you're here. Sorry it took way too long to do that. Don't mind me. I'm split focused. He does both, Abel. I don't know how. The benefit of ADHD is you're used to switching and flopping back and forth all the time. I always played the game while watching. I'm sorry. No, nothing to be sorry about. Yeah, if you guys are, like, again, I'm just glad you guys, not only do you watch, which still gives me the benefits of you guys watching, but you also engage still despite all of that. So, like, I hold no umbrage there. Blasphemous magics, perhaps. Yeah, I like how this particular quest used to take place in the Silver Bazaar in 1.0, but now it's in Wineport. Yeah, it makes sense, though, with having to split Marauder, and the fact that you have to have the Gladiators in, like, if you had Gladiator and Marauder in Ul'dah, it'd be a little weird. But yeah, it is interesting how they shift that up. I mean, it makes sense. It's also weird, too, because, like, it's Hellsguard, and you'd expect the Seawolf to be here, and Hellsguard to be over either in, Girabania or Hydaelyn, but yeah. Close enough. Yeah, sorry about that. Raiji Majiwind. But yeah. My friends in Wineport are much obliged for your aid. The fiends come relentlessly. What few able-bodied men we have find themselves hopelessly overmatched. Leave the defense to us, my good man. I will secure the western gate. Elio, you defend the town from the east. Together we will form a bulwark that not a single fiend can penetrate. Once the enemy has been driven back, we will return here to back up the captain. Got it, Elio? Sometimes I get tongue-twisted with, trying to read names off, especially when they're conjoined. Prefer cooking with wine than drinking it. True. I love cooking with sake. I will say, one alcoholic drink I do really love, well, I like rum chata as well, but, I love sake. I really, really love sake. I don't drink it a ton, but, like, how I typically drink sake is one of my favorite drinks, my favorite alcoholic drink by far is, it's about 1/3 sake, 2/3 Coke, or, like, it can be also, like, half and half, is just, it's real good. Lots of tasty stuff you can make with wine, like beef, bourguignon, or steamed clams with white wine. Yep, I totally feel that, AC. And you made me hungry. Speaking of, thank you all for allowing me to eat a wonderful dinner last night. It was very good. I even splurged and got in the side order of cheese curds, so thanks for that. Playing this game while having ADHD is something. I'm surprised I haven't got addicted to farming MGP. Honestly, I have never been into like side content in MMOs like the Gold Saucer. Mostly it just fills me with existential dread. 14's the first time I've really gotten into it, and I've bought almost, I mean, not everything in the Gold Saucer, but like I'm almost done with every mount. I'm only missing like one 700 MGP mount. And yeah, I've been hitting that apart. But yeah, luckily I can focus myself if I have a specific task I want to achieve. I from a young age worked really hard to try and get better at that. So if I can get hyper focused on something. But when it comes to like a chat like this, like being able to like be like, yeah, I'm doing that and doing this, doing that, doing that, doing this is it's easy enough. It's not even just easy enough. It's actually honestly more comfortable in some ways. And I will say there is nothing more satisfying or reassuring, anxiety reducing, however you want to put it, than having a disposition like that then benefits you doing something you enjoy, so that naturally doing something like this is easier because of things that are typically seen as deficiencies or struggles. Has been really, really rewarding. So that has been lovely. Why would beasts be interested in attacking a vineyard? Do they like the wine that much or hate the red-colored wines? Well, we know there's something to do with what we're going to find out later about the other warrior going on that might be stirring up trouble and causing the... But also, like, I mean, think about, they could just be foraging in the vineyard for the grapes. They could be, like, a bunch of the creatures could be wanting them. Though the fact that they created a united front to try and steal them is kind of interesting. Yeah, but I would wonder, especially with the timing, if it doesn't have to do with what we're about to find out about the other warrior potentially stirring up trouble. Yay! ADHD allowed me to farm so much MGP. Good on you, Genesis. One thing that I got from the Gold Saucer is the Emperor's New Shield. Nice climb for Paladin. It's a real good one. I've never used it because I always like the shield, but it's really handy and it's really cool that is an option. The main thing for me was always the mounts, which they're all freaking phenomenal. I remember the first thing that got me through A Realm Reborn, because I was just like not... I had a hard time like getting into the game with A Realm Reborn, but the thing that helped me get through it was focusing on trying to get the Sabotender, because I really love Cactars a lot, as you can tell from the light behind me, which I have 2 of that light. I have a Cactar shirt. I have a Cactar tie I'm not wearing currently that one of my partners gave me. But so like that Sabotender mount was a goal for a long time. I thank the 12 you're here. We need of your skill yet. I just heard a scream, and I fear that one of the beasts might be loose within the village. Come with me. I don't think that was supposed to be comedic, but that was actually pretty funny. The way they go flying is hysterical. You monster! Get away! Get away! Monster? But I... Come no closer, Elio. I beg of you. I must return to the falls. My brain's dropping. What is the acronym for RAF? My brain's not working. I cannot remember what that is, but be happy to talk about that in a second. Whatever has gotten into Curious George? 'Tis true that he fought like a man possessed, but to mistake him for the very beast he hunts? Methinks the child's parents have been feeding her a few too many ghost stories for her own good. Worry not, friend. I shall speak to the villagers and clear up this most unfortunate misunderstanding. Do return to the falls and assure the Curious George the Wineport is indebted to him for his aid. I'm looking at the corner of my eye, just saw a bunch of people text things. I'm gonna guess that like 5 of you tried to answer my question at once. Recruit a friend. Yes. Oh, you mean, or I'm assuming you're talking about Twintanya? Oh, Royal Air Force does. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, no, you're just joking with me. Okay. Yeah, no, recruit a friend. I'm assuming you mean the Twintanya mount, unless there's another one. Are you wearing the same greaves as Yida? I never noticed. Not quite the same, I don't. Well, I think they might be. Well, aren't the under parts of hers, though, not, like, aren't they skin? So wouldn't it look like, no. Maybe they are just straight up the same one as hers. We changed it. Hopefully we'll get some new armor by the end of today. If not, I think I'm just going to go buy some off the market board. Hey, Eden, glad you can make it. Glad to have you. It's going good. Well, you can buy a reskin of the Fenrir mount. Yes. Right. No, my brain legit thought you were talking about the British Royal Air Force. Is that the brain of an aviation geek works? No worries, Des. You can buy several mounts, but the one you get automatically is a 2-person chocobo. Yes, I have all of them on my main. I just don't have them on this. I guess, hey, if anyone wants to help me get the recruit a friend mounts for Elio, let me know if anyone's joining up. I think I should have enough golden tickets for at least Twintanya. And I might even already have... yes, I do have the drop chocobo. So this is the 2-person riding chocobo. Just chocobo, but long. Elio, please forgive me for leaving so abruptly earlier. It was a hasty reaction to a situation for which I was completely unprepared. While both you and I know that I was in complete control of my inner beast, I now realize that to the layman's eyes, it may have seemed that, well, the opposite was true. Mayhap it was the very misapprehension that lent weight to the lies which led to my tribe's disgrace. And if that's the case, then perhaps I should return once more to the Chronicles and endeavors to reassess their message in light of this discovery. Speaking of light, your soul crystal, Elio, it sparkles. Does the soul of the warrior have aught to reveal to you? Any whispers of import? If only they hadn't forsaken me as they did my brother. Yes, well, I suppose that is that. I must continue my studies, and you your training. I hope to have something new for both of us very soon. Until then, my friend. Imagine a mount like a caterpillar from Bug's Life. I'm a pretty butterfly. Oh man, I haven't watched Bug's Life in a while. I remember seeing that movie in theaters. I like that movie. It's a good movie. I always wanted a big chocobo because it's the one Milady rides in Dead of Light. The big chocobo is in like the drought chocobo? Do you not have it, Ray Ray? Do we need to get you friends? Let's get Ray Ray friends if that's the case. I know I got I've been working on my mentor chocobo. But that's a long-term affair, so. I also missed the black chocobo because I didn't use Twitch, and I missed it the prior time before that. I hope one day I'll be able to get a black chocobo, fat black chocobo, but yeah. Speaking of all those social goodies, if you'd like to join an FC, you can join our FC on Crystal Curl, the Eorzean Archives. It's a great time where a lot of us all talk and have a bunch of good times. Same thing that we do on our Discord, which you're also welcome to join. Also, if you are not on Crystal Curl and you would like to still be able to chat with all of us, we have a Crossworld Link Shell, which you can get an invite from me or Ray Ray. It's plenty good for talking about all sorts of Final Fantasy XIV goodness and lore goodness, and, you know, the occasional just chatting and socializing. Brave Elio, thanks to you, our guests shall be honored with a marvelous banquet. But what good is exotic feast without an equally exquisite aperitif? Aperitif? Luckily, I know just the person to ask. Make your way to Wineport and seek out Shamani Lomani, another former member of the company. All you have to do is give him this order slip. He'll take care of the rest. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is merely a ploy to test your patience, I assure you, I do actually need the wine. And while you're there, give Shamani Lomani my regards. Misuraki Rato. Misuraki Rato? Good to see you! Sub for you, good sir. I'm enjoying delving the world of Eorzean. Awesome! Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy our content. I hope you enjoy Eorzea and the Star of Hydaelyn in its entirety. Super glad that I can help try to increase your enjoyment in any way. Oh, hey, Raiho! Glad you could join us. Let's just teleport there. Let's try to catch up and check quick. First time seeing someone mention Dad of Light after I watched a few episodes of it. Yeah, we were talking about it a couple days ago, maybe a week or two ago, Raiho. I love Dad of Light. It's phenomenal. Maybe we should do like a community stream of watching that together or something. That would be really fun. My friend was lucky that somebody gifted her the Black Chocobo mount. Nice. Super lucky. That's super lucky. Chris, question for everyone. MTQ capture or Mr. Happy for raid guides? Depends. I find it depends raid to raid. I will typically watch both. I've used them for everything that I didn't blind through. Sometimes I tend to do MTQ as my baseline and then Happy afterwards, but a lot of people have arguments for one or the other of their preferences. I would say for a couple of fights, try both and just pick which one you end up liking more as your baseline. And then if the one you usually goes to doesn't fulfill everything you need, try watching the other. It might help provide some good context. Wasn't there a white fat chocobo mount? Yes, there is. A pair TFF. Yes. I'll be online, Curl, in a little while. Thank you, Ray Ray. Along with also testing your patience. I'm actually impressed with Shamani's sensory skills. He can really get around without a cane. Yeah. A lot of people say MTQ capture, and then other people will yell at you like, no, MTQ capture is crap, and then other people will say Mr. Happy, and then other people will be like, no, Mr. Happy's crap. So, like, if anyone says declaratively one or the other, I would say ignore them and instead try watching a couple of both and see what you like better, which works better for your sensibilities. Fancy yourself a romantic friend, do you? Oft find yourself gazing off into the horizon. You're learning to... this is the wrong quest. Well, but whatever. You're learning to travel in search of storied relics left behind by heroes of yore. Yes, you say? Then do I ever have a proposal for you? I was accosted the other day by a slobbering drunkard. Bear with me now. I assure you that this gets better. Who most eagerly regaled me for what I could gather amidst slurred speech and copious amounts of spittle, that is, with the tale of a treasure map that he stumbled upon in his travels. I don't recall the particulars. I was emptying my innards of some foul swill at the time, you see, but it sounded rather convincing to my ale-addled brain. What do I remember is that my fellow mentioned in striking out at first light for the Raincatcher's Gully to visit a miner friend. Should the prospect of hunting for hidden riches set your heart aflutter, I reckon you might still find him there. We're going to abandon that for now, because we will come back and do side quests later. Sweet grime and blood. Aye, you reek of blood. An adventurer, unless I'm mistaken. What brings you to Wineport? An order? Let me guess. A request for the finest vintage I can muster. The paper smells of loam and perfume. Costa del Sol. And there is also the unmistakable odor of goblin cheese. Yes, Master Gegaruju would not settle for anything less than the best. Dritzwitz and his crew must be quite busy preparing an exotic feast. Hence his decision to rely on an adventurer. But perhaps you're confused. This display of deduction was not intended to impress you. When one loses his vision, he is forced to compensate in other ways. But you've no interest in my affairs. You wish only to discuss the wine, I suspect. Life can be so delightfully unpredictable. I always had a passion for wine, but it wasn't until I was forced to retire that I could pursue it as more than a mere hobby. It wouldn't have been possible not for the savings I amassed during my time as a mercenary, of course. Say what you will about the nature of that work. None can deny that the pay is well. But you grow impatient, and Whiskat must have his wine. Herein lies the problem. Nothing in my possession is of sufficient quality for this occasion. The best vintages in town are hoarded by Bjerglaint, who owns and operates the largest winery in Vilbrand. Somehow, I doubt he'll be receptive to your request, but given these circumstances, we must needs beg his assistance. Ray, I'm now. Okay, cool. Good, Tethys. Awesome, thank you. Empty capture. I'll probably roll online and wait for our few Corellian. Nice, Raji. And if it's not apparent, well, actually, you probably can't see most of my Star Wars stuff. But yes, I get the joke. I get that. Hey, Serene. Ellie Woo. Thanks, Serene. Well, you missed it, Serene. Everyone else provided me money to get ice cream yesterday. Where were you when the T-Nation attacked by giving me money? But good to see you, Serene. Glad you could join us. That might be nice. I tried watching it, but then left somewhere at the beginning. What we were talking about. Brotherhood of, or Dad of Light. Yeah, Brotherhood, maybe we'll try that out. Chris, trying a new Savage content. Normally I'd wait a couple patches because I'm embarrassed myself during the Stormblood Savage years ago. Hey, Chris, if you want help with P1S, the other ones I'm not as good at, but P1S I have down. So if you want to like group up for that, we can do that sometime. And I'm glad to try and help decrease any of the stress around that if having a friend would help. You know a funny joke where a bar doesn't serve miners? I think it's because they're mining. Beautiful, AC. Actually, I think Xenos' site is a modified mine pickaxe model. Raiho, just one slice is right. And yeah, I'll be all for watch along for the show. Nice, Raiho. Buying Fantasia, of course you were. Hey, Deadpool. Oh, before we continue, look who came to see me. You go, boy? Deadpool. Hey, you okay? You want to go down? Yeah, okay. Oh, there you go. Hi. Okay, now he's sleeping on my feet. What rank amateurs bottled this wine? The impurities have rendered it nigh undrinkable. Dismissal is too good for the man responsible. He should be made to drink every drop of this polluted swill. What is it? I'm in the middle of an important discussion, and I do not care for your interruptions. The neophyte vintner bid you speak with me? Ha! Neither you nor your friend has the palate to appreciate the subtle qualities of my private stock. I would sooner serve ya Gubu urine than sell you my worst vintage. Begone from my sight. Friendly dude. Pup indeed. He is a Swedish Valhund. It's a Viking dog. Weirdly enough, purebred. They're not. Everyone always asks, is he a corgi mix? But no, he's actually a Swedish Valhund. What kind of Pokemon was that? That is a DP. I only have one Fantasia left and I'm anxious about it. What if I want to change into a Lala? The stress is killing me. You can always pull a Serene and buy another. I mean, Serene drinks it like water. Deadpool emote when? Well, Chris, that's a good question. I can make a Deadpool emote. There's a lot of cute photos of Deadpool. He's a very photogenic dog and a very happy dude. I take it he said no? Really, in those words? Well, I cannot say that I'm surprised. Well, there's no denying his passion and skill. The wine baron of Limsa Liminsa is not a man known for his tact. Very well. We shall have to take an alternative approach. There is a chance, however small, that another resident of Wine Park can furnish us with suitable wine. In fact, had he come several years ago, I guarantee this would not be a problem. Alas, the quality of our product has declined significantly in recent years. Worth remembering that the soil of Limsa Liminsa got really fucked up from the Seventh Umbral Calamity, so it's been pretty barren. The only breeds cultivated these days are common lowland vines, which isn't to say that their grapes are of poor quality, only that we have known better. Long ago, the Vignerans of Wineport crossbred several species and produced a grape-bearing vine of never-before-seen quality. Bacchus grapes were once the pride of this town, and they were used to produce vintages which surpassed all other. This includes the most aromatic, the most complex, and the most flavorful of all wines. Aye, the legendary Bacchus wines were born right here in Wineport. Pardon my enthusiasm. You see, I once had the privilege to sample that particular wine. It was an otherworldly experience. In that moment, I felt as though I had tasted the nectar of the gods themselves. I transcended my mortal flesh and was one with all of creation. But as is all too often said, the calamity changed that. The Bacchus vineyards were completely destroyed, along with much of the existing stock of Bacchus wine. What little remains is closely guarded by its owners, for it can no longer be made. If we cannot convince Bjerglaint to part with his wines, our next best option, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone who has bottled a Bacchus wine, and to offer them every gill we can spare. I've heard rumors that one of the vignerans tending the vineyards might have once owned a bottle. Perhaps you could start by speaking with them. I never bother with Fantasias. I just make another alt. Ray makes alts like rabbits have babies. I don't have a good analogy, but Ray has a lot of alts. Let's just say that. I made a Viera alt because I kept switching between it and Mikote. I feel you are. I'm super not an alt person. Like, I never make alts in games. Like, having Elio is, like, a very unique situation for me because of the archives. And so, yeah. Oi, what do I have the Bacchus wine? I wish I never had the chance to try it myself. Sorry, friend, but you're a few years too late. Number one reasons why I have... Cal. Okay. Atelier... Once you go Lala, you go Gaga. There's a specific type of person. There's two types of people who play 14. There's a lot more than two types of people, but there's two types of people. Those who love Lala, and those who do not. Has Deadpool visited stream yet? Today, I mean. Yes, he did. He was just here. And now he's currently scrounging around at my feet. Because I think he knew that I had food earlier. Oh, it's inside. That's probably... Oh, no, actually, is it... One reason why I have alts is so I don't spend that extra cash on my never-ending need to pay different characters. Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to your plight. I cannot, but you have my empathy all the same, Atelier. There's a Lala Gaga, Poker Face of more perfect illusion. Roses are red, violets are blue, Lalas are tiny, and I hate them too. That sounds about Sayreen. But now ask Sayreen which she likes more, Mikote or Viera. And watch as we produce infinite energy as her brain spins in a cycle. Hey, Bacchus wine? Ugh, don't remind me. Used to have a cellar filled with stuff. Thought I could even keep the wine safe from the thieves and the elements. Never counted on the bloody primal blowing up the goddamn house. Here, Deadpool. Come here. Come here, bud. What? Drink. Oh. Hi. Good boy. You doing okay? You went down? Yeah? You good? Okay. Yeah. Here you go. The one scene with Xenos at the end of Endwalker is very satisfying as a Lala. I have the opposite opinion for my personal experience. Obviously, I haven't played as Lala, but I know nothing would have undercut that scene more for me than playing it as Lala felt. But I'm glad for you; it was very satisfying. I got 9 alts. That was a bad idea. I only recently got my second alt to Shadowbringers. Well, Eden, at least you're gonna know that stuff real well. Chris, first time I was so hype I didn't even notice it. Just yeah. Raiji. My main is Mikote male, then I have my alts, and Elzen male, and Alra male, and the Viera female. I usually play, my main is a Hyr. I tend to just go with Hyr as my humans as my baseline for MMOs. Usually because I create a broad general representation of myself. Typically as the starting point, and then let them grow and branch from there. No luck, Most regrettable, but we had to try. A Bacchus wine would have been perfect for the occasion. Though I must confess, my certitude could be due in part to my personal history with the beverage. It is, after all, the very reason I decided to become a vintner. After the Titan blinded me in our battle beneath Ogamoro, I fell into a deep depression. It wasn't until I tasted Bacchus wine for the first time that I realized there was so much I could experience, even in my condition. It helped me to find a new direction in life. Breaks my heart to think that wondrous ambrosia which once filled me with hope may be forever lost to us. I must say, the talk of Bacchus wine has made me rather nostalgic. Indeed, there is much I miss about my life with the company of heroes. After everything the captain has done for me, I could not bear to disappoint him. I have no fear. I swear that I shall find a suitable wine for the banquet, though I may need some time to think of a solution. In the meantime, there is a favor I would ask of you. 2 years ago, in the deepest depths of my despair, I stumbled across Vilbrand as a vagabond drunk. I suspect I was looking for a place to die, because I very nearly found one not far from here. It was there that the man named Drest took me in and nursed me back to health, and it was he who gave me my first taste of Bacchus wine, which helped me to find my new calling. Though I am still a novice in the arts of winemaking, I would like to him to know that I am pursuing my dream. This wine is my own original creation, and I would be most grateful if you deliver it to him in my stead. Drest sometimes works at the Rangecatcher's Gully dock, so perhaps Rietskilt can tell you where to find him. Before male Viera was revealed, I had questions about whether or not they wear high heels like the females as well. Some fan art drew them as such. No, yeah, from what we knew, they did not, and then that was proven to be so. But there's no reason that in theory, they couldn't. I find Lala adorable, but the huge shift in perspective throws me off. Yeah, Auroria, I feel that too. Like, don't get me wrong, I do really appreciate Lalafell to a great degree, but they are not the race for me to play or experience or enjoy the game through as a primary character. But I do very much appreciate them, and those who love them. And I don't mean that to be oh, I love the people who play Lalafell too. No, I appreciate the passion behind those. Dressed? Oh, you mean the hermit? I tossed him a few gil when we need an extra pair of hands. He doesn't talk about himself, and I sure as hell don't ask. Where a man's got a face with the scars like that, you best leave well enough alone, I say. If you have a mind to find him, though, then head southwest to the Severed String. One of my alts is a male Viera warrior botanist. His name is Paul Bunyan, and yes, I only made it for the pun. Appreciable, Des. I can understand. Nicole, however, wants to destroy your soul and kill you. I only have 3 characters at the moment, all of them in current endgame, but I cheated on 2 of the alts as I used a story skip and watched specific cutscenes from the perspective at the end. Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. I totally understand story skipping for people who have already finished it. Like, I totally get that if you want to just be able to play endgame with a different version and you don't want to Fantasia for whatever reason because you want to do it a different way. And I mean, and I, as someone who, like, really does abhor skipping, I also still understand and appreciate there are contexts under which it makes sense for some people. And I've argued this in other streams prior, why there are some people that actively it was the right decision for. But, I mean, that's not cheating. As long as you're happy. And I mean, like, you care about the story and you're engaging it with me and with the crew here, so, I mean, let that speak for itself. Chris is Loving Eyes, and I'm assuming it's because of... Oh, I'm assuming it was because of Deadpool earlier. My main is male Row, second alt is another favor of male Row, and third alt is male Highlander. I sense a pattern there, Atelier. Low Lalafell voice kills me. I'm curious, do people make a character similar to themselves, or do they go for something that could never be in the RLL? I'm super curious about that as well. I'd love if you guys would answer. You know, the downside of the more of you guys there are, which, don't get me wrong, I'm super appreciative, it's hard to catch up on chat. So let's do that quick, though. I'm contemplating on making a female alt since it's not often I do play as the Carol characters. Yeah, I think it's always worth trying to express yourself, either express yourself or experience different perspectives through a different lens. Okay, Vanilla, what if I like Araz more? Then I think you've just proven my point that you just take that and you just say, like, which you like more, Ra, Mikote, or Viera, and then we watch your brain just spin in cycles as we produce infinite energy. I was thinking for community night we could do Blue Mage stuff. Yeah, Professor, totally. Thanks for suggesting it. As per usual, we have community night every Saturday. If you want to join us, please do. It's always a great time, and the main goal is to get things done that people have wanted to get done but haven't gotten around to. And if you have a suggestion or a thing you specifically want to do, then like Professor just here suggested, then that's what we'll do. The plan was originally maybe to do Boja or Eureka, and we'll still get to those, but I definitely think we should do Blue Mage as well. I think there's a lot of interest in that. My main is Mikote, my first alt is Viera, and my third alt, playing through improved updates on this one, is Ra. Nice. Yep, people are blue doggo. I always make characters rather than personal avatars of myself. Ray, I do sprinkle a bit of traits that stem from my self-personality, but I always treat them as their own identities. So here's the thing. I use myself as a baseline, but then I treat them as their own characters and, like, let them branch out for theirs. So, like, my Warrior of Light is not me. Like, I use me as a template to start with, so there's, like, a point of connection we both have. But then in my mind, my experience, I watch that character grow from there. I just changed Mikote, and I'm trying to think of a good name for him. Do you want a lore-based name or a pun-based name? Because I'm sure chat can help you with both. We could come up with a backstory for them, too. You could provide some information. We could talk about that. Lalafell, Uncanny Valley is quite wide once you hear those with deep voices like Yu Yu Hase. My main is an Aura male. I love it. Yep, Cal. My main is Lala male. Very ridiculous and fun to play as. My secondary character is Femro, and she's just Femro. Sexiest of the females. I'm on. Okay, thank you, Ray Ray. Femro gang, indeed. So I'm working right now on getting, like, merch stuff set up, and we need to get something that's Femro related. Ray Ray. Cal's talking to Ray Ray. Hey, Super Narwhals! Glad you could join us. Glad to have you. My War of Light has become one of the most important parts of my life in the past year. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, in a way, like, I relate to that in the way that, like, the Eorzean Archives and you guys and Elio has become one of the most important parts of my life in the past year. So I can kind of relate to that, and it's really wonderful how much they can mean to us. I want to refund Elio's mean. I want to speak to the manager. Okay, here's the thing, Sabrine. If you want to speak to the manager, you're either going to be speaking to me or you're going to be speaking to Ray Ray, who's going to be even less on your side than I am. Once I finish the game with my Here Highlander, I'm probably going to do run-ins of Femro gang. Yeah, there we go. Turns out the manager is Lolorito. Almost worse, it's Ray Ray. The Dami Mami Archives t-shirt. What do you want? Wine? I didn't ask for this. Who sent you? Ugh. Can't sleep. They won't let me sleep. The midges, the buzzing, it keeps me awake. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I won't fight. I don't want to fight. So fun fact, through some tools I used, if you've ever seen my video on Lalafell, which I need to remake because oh boy is it rough and I've gotten so much better making videos, but there's a part where you see a Lalafell doing this stance standing here, and through some tools, let's just say that this character turned into a Lalafell is that Lalafell. Let's just say. But also, there's hints towards identity and stuff here, if you look to the shelves, because those are Garlean helms, a Legionnaire helm, and yeah. Somehow, someday, I'll find my way back to you. Beyond Snows, Miara Carey. Oh, Ray Ray. Can I help you, Deadpool? You're just staring at me. Here. Well, no, because if I put you on the chair, you're not going to stay there. Hi. You're very good. But you're just hanging out there. Hi. My main, Araziri, Mikote, Keeper of the Moon. Yeah, I assumed based on the name. Yeah, makes sense. Is made close to me. My parents joked all my life that I was a cat in a past life, and I love the night sky full of stars and full moon. Aurora, there you go. So, like, that's also the other great thing is how much the different clans can really help act towards a form of expression. Yeah. Ray, you like milkshakes? You know I'm good for it. Oh, Serene. My Femrose is max height and max muscle, peak Dami Mami energy. Okay, I'm gonna have to come up with some photos for like what to put on a shirt with Femro. Actually, speaking of, not to be overly self-promoting, or I guess not even self-promoting, but so other than like die-cut stickers of like the Eorzean Archive logo and stuff, what are people interested in terms of like paraphernalia and stuff? Because I know like the things that I care about are like stickers. The problem is like no one makes a good baseball tee for like that like offers merch plans and stuff. Because I really love like baseball tees, like long sleeve t-shirts where the sleeves are different colors. But also like what would you like on them? I was also looking at like water bottles and stuff because I know I would like that. Basically I was just looking at things that I would enjoy and maybe just get for me. I want a mouse pad with Ninire's face on it, that's for sure. Yeah. I saw a Lady Dimitrescu player in my server once while in Eureka. That was their name. They were in a white dress with a big hat. I've totally seen people cosplaying that. I mean, people go crazy hard with the cosplay game in 14. Let's catch up. The only relation my wool has to me is I weave IRL things into their story. I can't relate or write my OCs if they don't share some similar traits, but looks-wise, absolutely not. Lol, help for Ellis and gang for me. Yeah, I hear you, Genesis. Where are the midges? Where do they go? Mikote name Zoomies. Zoomies. Oh, that's pretty good, Dez. Sarin, I would maim for a good banana milkshake. No, I don't say ugh. I'd take a banana milkshake. Not my preference, but I'd take it. Yeah, I guess we do need a pup cam, don't we? Dimple, you're just sitting there, bud. You're just sitting there staring at me. By the way, I super support the statement that Super Narwhals. I've grown extremely attached to my main Warrior of Light as well as my two others. It makes my enjoyment of this game tenfold. Totally, Atelier. Totally feel that. By the way, your stuff is not behind. I'm just trying to keep up because y'all going ham, which I appreciate, but also, beyond Snulls, and then there's the Hura gang. Yeah. Come to think of it, do Mikote get zoomies? Not as far as we know. I do actually have a Mikote called Nyal. If only you could give it like multiple different tails for tentacles. I'm proud. Saren's proud. Might be a little expensive, but Eorzean Archive Soul Crystal. Oh, Raiho. No, so I used to, one of my main jobs used to be making props for, and cosplay for people. So I actually have a bunch of 3D printers, and I have a resin 3D printer. I could make an Eorzean Archive Soul Crystal. The problem is if I'm making them, I can only make limited runs, and if I do that, they're gonna have to be a little expensive just because of like all the stuff involved with doing that. But that is totally a thing that we could do, Raiho. That's a great idea. Could someone write that in the Discord? I'm trying to make sure I remember all the ideas that you guys have presented. Journals can't be a true lore community without journals and notebooks. Awesome, great idea, Aurora. I think that's a great idea. I definitely saw. The problem is there's no there's 20 different places you can go for like merch stuff, but each one has like a couple of the items I want, but none of them have all of them. Like one place has notebooks, another place has die cuts, another place has but t-shirts and stickers for me. Okay, this is really helpful, guys. Thank you so much for letting me know. Hi everyone. Hey Brooke, glad you can make it. Hey Etho. Is it Etho or Etho? I feel bad not knowing, but either way, notebook would be interesting too, in my opinion. Good evening, good to see you, glad to have you. Yeah, thank you for this feedback, guys. It makes not having to just feel around the dark really helpful. It makes it so I don't have to feel around the dark. It's not so loud anymore. Did you do it? Thank you. You helped me. Even after my comrades and I did to your country. We were on reconnaissance mission when the maelstrom caught us by surprise. We tried to escape, but the others, no one else survived. I didn't ask for this, damn it. I'm not even Garlean. They conquered my lands, just like they tried to conquer yours. I don't want to die in some blasted jungle halfway around the world. I just want to go home. I wish to thank Shamani for the wine. That was overly kind. Would you be willing to bear a gift back to him? Earlier today at Red Mantis Fall, I collected sap from the nearby palm trees. If placed in coconut shells and stored for a few bells' time, it makes for a fine wine. See, it should be ready by now. I left 3 shells out there. Please take them to Shamani for me. I'm glad he's moved on with his life. I hope to one day do the same. Drink coasters? Ooh, Chrissy, that's a good idea. Ray or someone, if you could collect these ideas and make sure that I don't lose them, that would be really appreciated. A big with proper closure bottle. Yeah, I can use for lemonade to help spur my high sugar and soda drinking habit. Yeah, the Brotherhood. I want that same sort of thing. So definitely. Maybe have the Eorzean Archive logo on it or something. Coffee mugs? Yeah, definitely. Aurora, how did I not think of this suggestion? What did Aurora say earlier? Journals, yes. Milkshake for Ray. Okay, Ray's getting that milkshake. That I gotta remember that those two are going to Ray and her milkshake. What's the best way to give Ray money? Venmo? Tillier really does enhance it. Yeah. That was from a while. Sorry that I'm so far behind. Post in Discord, thank you, Raiho. Advert time, thank you, Ray. Nicole screaming about Cal. Would people be interested in a fox people race that hails from the Far East? Would be like Mikote, but with fox ears and tails and strong magic affinity. The problem with that I see is that there's nowhere other, like, the closest you already have is with the Lupin race. And in terms of, like, a fox race, that doesn't make a lot of, no, I don't want to say it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's not fair. That's not true at all. But other than, unless they hailed from Nanxia, there's no suggestion that a people like that exist currently. Unless they hailed from Nanxia or, like, the Aras or something. But that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. They'd probably have to hail from here. So would I be potential? Or, I mean, okay, actually, we haven't been to Hingashi proper, and they're an isolationist nation. So it could be they reside, that a race like that resides in Hingashi. Would I be up for it? Sure, I'd totally be up for it. As playable, I don't think that'll ever happen. We're never getting another playable race. Frem Hrothgar is the last thing we're getting, and then they're never, ever doing another race again because the amount of headaches that ended up causing them is just too great. But would I take it for, like, lore or as a group or something? Or even just, you know, having your traditional stories like your Tamamo, or, like, stuff like that? Yeah, I totally take that. Hey, Jalali! Good to have you. Glad you could join us. Hey, Catherine! I don't know if I said hi earlier, but hello! Glad you could join us. It's 92 degrees in Orlando, as we are always made aware thanks to Catherine's ever-vigilant, present reminders. I also like Prince, but we feel best. I'm totally in for Prince. The problem is we need to continue to raise more money to get actual art done, because I don't know. I mean, I could also do Prince with, like, the art that I do using G-Pose and stuff, but I would feel better if we could get some, like, official art done of, like, the Eorzean archives and stuff like that we could sell. And, you know, we even have artists in the community, so maybe trying to get in touch with them and figure something out, whether that be to pay them to draw it and then make a deal around selling it or something, but we can figure that out. But I'm definitely down for Prince. I was definitely considering it and looking at it. If no, for another reason, that I love being able to hang stuff. I have, like, Prince all over the house. I have, over there, I have a artistic rendition of all of Lordran from Dark Souls 1. And then I have, like, my 3D printed Final Fantasy XIV meteor symbol. Yeah, I don't have as much art down here, but I have a ton of art upstairs that I got mostly from gifts because I'm usually broke as shit. So thank you all for supporting me because it helps me not be broke as shit. I have an old D&D character I could turn into a toon. I had a Goliath fighter named Stormcrow. There you go. T-bracelets and maybe a character key change of you guys as your avatars. That'd be fun, AC. Yeah. I'm here. Wow, 6.15 stuff is so cute. Hey, Power, I won't talk specifics, obviously, because many of you may have not gotten 6.15. The Omega questline will make you cry. The Matanga tribe quests are awesome and really lovely. And the, God, I love Emelians, and I have always loved Emelians, but boy, do those turning quests for her are they really great. And on top of that, they just show off even more how shrewd Emelians is. I love how she's every bit Fortunal's equal. It's been some time, Elio. What news do you have of Dressed? Sap of palm tree fermented inside an island coconut shell. Far more potent than the wine made from grapes. Palm wine, if brewed for far too long, can cause loss of eyesight or even death. Ah, yes, I recall he did have some knowledge of winemaking, a simplistic but nonetheless effective method that utilizes the natural properties of palm sap. I shall have to enjoy this batch before it spoils. We are not so different, Dress and I, two men who have long struggled not to let our scars define us. I worry that he has been alone with his thoughts for far too long. It's past time I paid him a visit. Thank you for looking after him, Elio. Oh, that's how you get the Gubu minion. By the gods, Elio, listen. By the gods, Elio, listen. I know you're eager to wash the hands of this wine business, but I've just discovered something extraordinary about Dress's palm wine. He sealed each coconut with a leaf which has a very distinct shape and unusual odor. I thought I was going mad at first, but now I'm certain. These are the leaves of the Bacchus grapevine. Do you know what this means? Somewhere in Rangecatcher's Gully, the legendary vine still grows. If we could obtain a cutting, then we could revive the Bacchus wine industry. We must know where Dressed found these leaves. Here, take one of them back to him and see what he remembers. Oh, Cal! I skipped over them because, okay, so have Beefy Femro Dami Mami in the text can say, music notes, row, grab my throat. Oh my god, that's amazing, Cal. There's a lot to get through. We're keeping cool in air conditioning and drinking iced tea and iced lemonade. It's nice. It is, it's like 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the in the room here, so, I do not have to worry about that, luckily. But, I'm glad you're keeping cool. It's very important to stay hydrated and stay cool. I like a half and half of iced tea and lemonade. So does Cal. I'll drink iced tea. Like, I'll drink an Arnold Palmer and stuff, but, like, I'd rather just have the lemonade. Mood. Hey, Nick, glad you could join us. Glad you're here. Have you been raising her satisfaction? Dude, the amount of innuendo going on in Emeliance's deliveries is pretty hysterical. Nicole, same opinion on a Vermilion. She didn't really shine for me in the MSQ, but she came off a real badass in the quiz. I will say, maybe Nicole, you still disagree with me, because sometimes me and you have different opinions on stuff, but I think she super does shine in the MSQ. You just have to be paying very close attention, because, like, how shrewd she is, and, like, for instance, the way that she was able to do certain things with the Scion, and her working with Tataru, and other things I won't mention. I think that there's a lot of clear things showing you how shrewd she is, but there's so much going on in Endwalker, it's kind of easy not to see it as much. But, you know. But I'm glad, regardless, I'm glad we agree that the deliveries are awesome. Sabin's like Absinthe. Yeah, that's a good point, Catherine. Ooh, I like the keychain idea. Yeah, I wasn't expecting tears from Omega beyond the Rift quest. Yeah, it's a very dusty quest, as Ray would put it. Yeah. But yes, no 6.15 spoilers, please. I will, other than saying tears and they're fun. I haven't played 6.15 yet. Still want to play when I get a chance. Definitely do. It's a good time. I haven't gotten to Hildebrand yet, so, and I probably won't for a little while. I'm thinking we're gonna do a low-key stream on Twitch where we'll be testing out some Twitch stuff, where I'll do Hildebrand on my main. So if you're interested in that, we'll be doing that at some point. It's just a leaf, isn't it? I only choose it because it was pretty. Didn't know it was rare. I found them near the Juggernaut to the south, but I didn't see any grapevines. I saw fresh Gooby tracks though. Maybe the leaves came from the vines growing on the back of one such beast. If you go looking for it, please be careful. Some Goobus are more territorial than others, and you may have to defend yourself. I just wish we could have a Bonga as a playable race. Unfortunately, that seems very unlikely. I would say basically impossible, and not just because of the amount of work involved, but because of their head structure, you couldn't do hairstyles. Because of their head structure, you couldn't do helmets. Because of their head structure, there's a bunch of limitations that just are, you can't overcome. But that said, I understand the desire, and I hear you. Eden. I can't stay long, currently doing prep for a treatment tomorrow, but always here to cheer you on. Nick, thanks for stopping by, and as always to all of you, you know, like, if you're lurking, I appreciate you just as much. If you are just stopping by, I appreciate it all the same. So thank you very, very much, and I hope that your days are well, regardless. Yeah, I would have screamed if Bonga were a playable race, but last we got Viera instead, which is still lovely anyway. Yeah, of the two, I would prefer Viera, and also the thing is that they're humanoid, and so it, well, not that Bonga aren't, but like the their head shape and stuff is humanoid, which makes making armors and stuff for them more reasonable, which is always the difficulty. Oh man, the new Hildebrand crest was definitely worth the wait. That's what I keep hearing. I hear that from I've heard that from a bunch of different people. So that's exciting. I'm gonna be honest with you. I need to replay I may even go back and replay all of Hildebrand on stream, because I literally do not remember any of it. Because when I played it, I was speeding through it and I was in a rough place in my life, and it just like went in one ear and out the other. And so like I think I should replay the whole thing, and that'll be a good time. Although also playing it from like literally from A Realm Reborn to Heavensward to Stormblood and then the Endwalker, that's going to be a whole lot of, it's going to be a long run of interesting. Hildebrand is absolutely hilarious, this patch. I love meeting the parents of the Scions. It's like exploring a new side of the people we've known for a while, the twins and Mubrida. Yep, 100% agree, AC. And the thing is that we've been waiting to meet Fortunel and Emiliance since 2016. I mean, like, maybe technically before that. But Fortunel, there's literally an entry on Fortunel with his appearance defined in Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1, which came out in 2016. That's how far in advance they had Fortunel and his look planned out. So I've been waiting to meet Emiliance for forever. So it's very exciting when we got to. What did Dress have to say, Elio? Tell me everything. Aha! I was right. This smell, this texture. I hold in my hands a Bacchus grapevine cutting. Come now, enough of this nonsense. I heard you talk of your discovery, and I refuse to believe that a common adventurer and novice vinter could... Motherfucker, I'm gonna end you. 12 is my witness. It is a Bacchus grapevine. Wherever did you find this fantastic specimen? What? You would offer this to me? But why? There is nothing better positioned to reconstruct the Bacchus vineyard than you, Master Bergelaint. You have the resources, the knowledge, and the passion to do so. It would be selfish of me to keep this cutting. I never knew you cared so deeply about your craft. Thank you, good sir. I will not squander this gift. In just a few years' time, I swear that every tavern across Eorzea will once again be clamoring for a cask of Wineport's legendary Bacchus wine. Sir, you needn't... Wait, the shape of this bottle, the scent of this label. This couldn't possibly be. A 1547 Bacchus. Wait, 1547. Let's think about it chronology-wise. So that's about 40 years ago. Wow. It's more like 30 years ago. Actually, no, it's about 1577. It's all exactly 30 years old. Let's pull up E1 real quick. Let's think about what exactly is happening during 47. That's 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So no, not quite with Merlwyb. Merlwyb's still a kid at that point. So she hasn't been off exploring yet. Give me one quick second. Come on. I literally have this marked. Come on. There we go. 1547. What's happening thereabouts? 1544. The Darklight Raiders fail in attempt to purge Cutter's Cry of the chimera that lurks in its depths. The mercenary group is effectively disbanded as most of its members are slain. Oh, hey, 1546. 1 year prior to when this would have been this vintage would have been made. Theodoric I ascends the throne as King of Alamigo. That's the Mad King ascends to the throne of Alamigo. 1552. So this is about 5 years later. The conflict between King Theodoric and the Fist of Rhalgr intensifies. In the name of quelling the insurrection, the king leads a vast army to the site of the monkhood's main temple, razing it to the ground and massacring its disciples. So if you know the Fist of Rhalgr and you know what happened to the monks there, that's what that happened about 5 years after this would have been minted. The Imperial legions would conquer and annex Doma. Yeah, same year. So this is about 5 years older than the annexation of Doma. I love me. Really strong start for Hildy. It's possible to raise his Hrothgar to dye their fur. Is it possible? Yeah, I don't know how I would say it's common. Can't do hairstyles, can't do helmets. Look at the Hrothgar VR. Yeah, but Professor, I'm not talking about can't as in they can't currently. I'm talking about can't as in you can't, period. And the thing is that, one, they're working on those solutions for those things, and two, you do have hairstyles for those people. Like, literally, you couldn't have hairstyles for Banga. Like, but you can use the fundamental head structure of Hrothgar and Vieira as the bone system that they have set up can be applied broadly, if not exactly the same for them. So there's a difference of kind. Is everything the exact same between Vieira, Hrothgar, and the current races? No, but it's still different than another step, Arguably, it'd be easier to make Loporrit a playable race in some ways. I'm up to the second trial of Hildy now. I had to stop because my sides hurt. Gonna be doing my repping thing and I'd be out and about, but good evening. Hey, Issa, glad to have you. Genesis, I haven't finished the Stormblood Hildy quest because I stopped at the trial. I wanted so badly to start the new chain today. Any chance Charlene got a sample of Bacchus Vine for Labyrinthos before the 7th Umbral Calamity? Yeah! AC, that's super possible, I would assume. A Gleaner probably would have come out and done that. I don't know of a specific... I don't know for sure. I can't reference anything, but there may be text in the game that does. This vintage has not been seen since years before the Calamity. It was the crown jewel of my personal collection for many years. I debated opening it, wondering if today or tomorrow would be the ideal time. But now I realize that it was never meant for me. It should be savored by the saviors of Wineport, I'd say. He has made us an offer we cannot refuse. Master Gegeruju will find no finer wine. We have forever changed Wineport, Elio. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. But do not permit me to delay you any longer. Pray, deliver the wine to Captain Whisket. I'd say, though, that, like, even if the Gleaners did have it, because of the isolationist nature of Charlene at this time, it wouldn't really matter for Limsa or anywhere else. Well, yes, I would very much like to drink it, but I'm a patient man. I have faith that one day I shall have another opportunity to taste perfection. Hey, Pumpernickel! Glad you could join us! Always good to see ya. Roria, dinner time for Kitty. We'll be back. No worries. Speaking of, where did Devlin go? I didn't hear him go upstairs. Well, whatever. Warrior of wine saving the world of sommeliers. Exactly, I see. Exactly. Now time for my fine drink of choice. It's actually funny. I actually have been trying to avoid drinking Mountain Dew or very caffeinated drinks lately because usually they make me very tired. But but because streaming gives me energy, and because I usually get all my work done as much as possible before stream. Well, that's not true. I usually work for 2 or 3 hours after stream. But even if I get tired during or after stream, it's okay because then I can try to rest. Bongar 2 Beast Shield for sure. Hrothgar still look vaguely humanoid, and Viera only have their ears, making it difficult to wear old gear, so it makes sense that they were added. Yeah, Eden. This is me. I tend to think in perspectives of not just like what I would enjoy. I tend to think first and foremost about development and like the restrictions around that and the difficulties around that. So like whenever you hear me say that, it's almost never coming from a place of I wouldn't like it. It's almost always a place of, well, here's the complications around actually making that as the first hurdle. Your prolonged absence was beginning to concern me. So what of the wine I asked you to bring? Is that 7 hells of 1547 Bacchus? Even I know how rare that is. I have to admit, I didn't think you had it in you. But congratulations, Elio. Thanks to you, this will be the most luxurious feast Costa del Sol has seen in years. Very, inappropriate weather. Considering your lengths you went to, I hope our guests appreciate it. Speaking of which, your associate arrived a short while ago. She appears to be growing somewhat impatient. Perhaps you could tell her that the banquet is about to begin? Hey, Goobu Sproutling! Goobu, 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 Goobu. You have the look of a man who has been to the seventh hell and back. That a guest shouldn't be expected to supply the victuals for a banquet held in his own honor. And this while the shadow of Titan looms over us all. It's beggars belief. I can only applaud your stoicism. Had I been asked to endure such ignominy, I fear I should have accepted my lot with less grace. Viera can put their ears under a black mage hat. It's big enough. Also, they were races of previously playable characters in past tiles like Banga who were just villainous race, except for Tactus, which was great. Yeah, fair point, Eden. Lady, you stole us, Sir Forgeron. 1,000 pardons for this extreme discourtesy. I was wholly unaware of your true identity, sir. Had I known, I would never have permitted my man to subject you to such unspeakable ordeals. Come now, he must have a sense something was amiss. Who is it? I get to do... You did not seriously think I would send you running the length and the breadth of Eorzea for a banquet, did you? Spare him the mockery, Captain. Your intent was unclear to me until this moment, and unlike me, Elio has no knowledge of your traditions. Mayhap you would be so good as to enlighten him. Aye, fair is fair. There's no sense in hiding it any longer. We 5 were chosen by our brothers and sisters, and before the Company of Heroes disbanded, we each swore a solemn oath. That any who would follow in our footsteps must be weighed and measured, not by their reputation, but by their deeds. Each man would judge these would-be godslayers by his own criteria, and even if one found him wanting, he would be rejected without a second thought. But if he proved himself worthy, we swore that we would do our utmost to support his cause. The world has ever been full of brave souls, eager to give their lives for a righteous cause, but all too few capable of making a difference with their sacrifice. To send wave after wave of hapless adventurers into the jaws of a foe against whom they had no hope of victory is worse than futile. Titan is not one to be challenged lightly, and we will not be complicit in the death of the unworthy. Which is why the 5 of you deigned to test Elio with such commendable thoroughness. Time well spent, I am sure. But tell us, Captain, what is the assessment of you and your fellows? Aye, he's a brave one, that much is certain. He's willingly walked into the midst of danger, despite my repeated warnings that it could cost him his life. He is skilled and undeniable. He stalked his prey as relentlessly as any child of the sands, and stuck with the precision of the opportunity presented itself. Aye, too many adventurers these days care only for fortune and glory. Elio, however, is a kind and generous soul. I am certain he has no shortage of loyal allies who would gladly fight at his side.
Shh. Ready, Uplanders, talentful planesmaker. Trixie foe for mighty Rockman.
I can only concur with my colleague's assessment. We five of the Company of Heroes hereby judge you a worthy challenger. Cast down the Lord of Crags, Elio Forgerant, and write a new chapter in the history of Eorzean. With the formalities out of the way, let the festivities begin. Summon the dancers! Pour the wine! Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends! For today, we celebrate the birth of a new legend, Elio Forgeron, Titan's Bane. Elio Forgeron, Titan's Bane, woo! Is there a Rogan word for crow? I'll look up, I've been looking, found sparrow, falcon, owl, bird, but no crow. Then it probably isn't, professor. If it's not in the dictionary, then it probably doesn't exist. Because so far as I know, new worlds have been made since the dictionary was created. Ethos, Emily, really, before I started playing Final Fantasy XIV, I played shooters, adventure games, and other casual mainstream games. When starting Final Fantasy XIV, the world building blew my mind. It's also well thought. Oh, that's great. I'm glad that did. I personally have grown up playing MMOs, and I've played playing every kind of video game you can possibly imagine since I was 3 or 4 years old. So, for me, it's not that it was old hat, because it very much is still wondrous, but I'm super glad it could be that revelatory for you. Aye, congratulations, sweetling. Now relax and enjoy the show. It's only just begun. Uh-huh. Try to catch up in chat. Thank you, Ray Ray. Warping to Curl to join Crossworld Link Shell. Awesome, Power. Thank you. Pumpernickel, are you doing a podcast with Work to Game? I thought I heard Chris say you don't stream. Yeah, we're having an interview with them, I believe, this Thursday. When it will go up is up to them. Usually, because of Brian and Chris, it usually goes up right away. So I would expect it might be up on Thursday, but I don't know that. It may be up on Friday or later. But yeah, I love those guys. They're awesome. I'm super excited to finally get to sit down and talk with Chris. I've gotten to talk with Brian before. Obviously, Brian had me on a while ago. But I'm super excited to talk to both of them. But yeah. By the way, what is the original meaning behind the 7 hells? Like, are there more hells past 7s reserved for some really bad stuff? Behind the 7 hells. Like, are there more hells past 7? No, there are only 7 hells. There's the hells of each element, and then there's the 7th hell, as well as a heaven of each element and the 7th heaven. Which, if you've started to play the Mists of the Realm, and you know about Agalea and stuff, you know that what part of what that is in. But also, if you read the Encyclopedia Eorzean Volume 1 and read... there is a section on the 7 hells of heavens and hells, but they those sections are about the myths as understood by people, not necessarily the factual places. So like that's always important to understand. Is just because we have examples of things in Encyclopedia Eorzea, they may be references not to what. Here, let me turn on display capture. There we go. So here you can see the heaven. So the heavens and hells. You've got the heaven and hell of fire, the heaven and hell of water, heaven and hell of wind, and then there's the 7th hell, heaven and hell. But understand that there's a difference between myth and fact, and sometimes scholars only have myth to go with, so that's what they'll proffer. Let's get the game back up. Power, okay, give me a call. Rory 2. Rory back. Hey, welcome back, Rory. I know I'm super late. He's eating happily. I was reminded of the poppy seed salad I had in the fridge. Nice. There was originally 6 hells, but they made it into 7 because it sounded better or something. Hey, her. Glad you could join us. What do you think about the fact that it caught on, at least on the EU servers, that lawful players refer to the other races as biggers? I had not heard that, and emergent property of community. I mean, that's what happens, right? What do I think about it? I'm not quite amused, not quite bemused, but I'm like, yeah, that sort of stuff happens. I have no real opinion on it. Other than to say, like, I'm glad that weird shit happens as a byproduct of community. You know, for example, too, like, you think about how part of the reason that Limsa became the hive of scum and villainy that it did is because the Aetheryte is the closest Aetheryte to the market board of all the starting cities, which is why it's so, usually Limsa became so populous, and that's become self-perpetuating. In Eorzean legend, there are 7 heavens, 7 hells. Yeah, paintings power. Brotherhood. The company of heroes just confused me even after what just happened and what was said. Are they linked to the Warrior of Light 1.0 or are they tied to something different? So the company of heroes has existed for a long period of time. They were the main people fighting against the primals during the 6th Astral Era, and the Warrior of Light did deal with them some in the 1.0 game, but the thing is that, one, people don't remember the Warrior of Light, they only remember the after image of the Warrior of Light, and secondly, they were around before the Warrior of Light and still kind of continue on after. Perfect Gobbo voice. Thank you, Eden. I love doing the Gobby voice. I love doing it. I want more reasons to do it. This is why I wish that there was like a point system where people could pay me to read a line in Gobby voice or something, because it's fun. Can't wait to see you collab with Work to Game. Yeah, me too. I can't wait for that too. I love those guys. I love their content. It's funny too. Like I started out watching their stuff. So going from someone who was like watching their stuff to having a active relationship with them has been really interesting. But really, really cool. But yeah. Right, claiming my Fenro now. Stiamkira Bluebar win. Stiamkiara Bluebar win. There we go. Ugh. I love road names, but I'm not always good with every word combo. Thank you, Ray Ray. Or the Aetheryte Plaza is Limbo. Yeah. Sometimes I question if opening the Flying Shark was the right decision, but I wasn't bowing and scraping to some pretentious Uldan merchant. I reckoned I'd be doing the same to the Count de Zmel that may have suited my father and grandfather, but I've aspirations for a better life. Setting up Zmel early on. It feels wonderful to be with the others again. I wish the day would never end. Ooh, let's talk to...
Tasty fresh treats are plentiful and belly of broflocks.
Oh, I was hoping for more. It's also funny because, I shit you not, doing the goblin voice gives my voice a rest compared to the other voices. Maybe I should do if like people super chat $1 or something. I'll do a line in Gobby speak or something. The Flying Shark. Oh yeah, of course you just said the name. The Flying Shark. Tasting the exotic feast triggers a divine revelation. A divine revelation. I cannot speak today. In that brief transcendent moment, you glimpse the true form of reality, comprehended its fleeting nature, and cry out to the heavens in celebration. If you ever see a Fembro named Rosthora Limlanewin, that's yours truly. I'll remember that, Eden. I'll try to. Actually, with a name like that, it won't be that super hard, because Ransthota... Interesting that you have a double female ender name for both your first and last name. But Limlanewin, yeah, daughter of Limlane. Smart. I like what you're working with the name with the lore. You're both using the rules and playing with them to create a narrative. Now, is it Limlanewin because your character is like a bastard, or is it Limlanewin because of like a title, or because is there myth that they were descended from Limlane or something? I'd love to know, Eden. When you face the Lord of Crags, think not of Limsa or anything but his chamber. Beyond his chamber, think only of the men and women by your side. Fight them, fight for them, and they will fight for you. Remember that no great victory was ever achieved alone.
Godly Uplander must be facing mighty Rockman with clever fighty think. Gabby Flock cannot be coming to rescue this town.
Hi. Ah, Elio, you brave fool. Promise me that when you meet Titan, you'll look him in the eye and tell him Landel sends his regards. His name always throws me for a loop because my main's name is Lendriel. You were a valiant veteran of countless battles, Elio. This is but one more trust in our experience, and you will prevail. Aye, you're blessed with the fortitude to rival the Earth itself. Titan will struggle to break you, I think. You are kind to indulge them, Elio. This banquet is much for the company as it is for you, whatever they may claim. I do not deny that they mean well, but now is scarcely the time for the celebration. Though they have but pronounced you the victor, the battle with Titan has yet to begin. The hour has come for the good captain to make good on his promise. We must speak with him again. Storm Crane, Blue Bear, Daughter. Yep, I got the storm, I got the storm, I got the blue, I got the bear. I didn't get the crane, though. Thanks, Professor, for elucidating that. It's like a hyper toddler on pixie sticks mixed with Gollum. It's very, very fun to do. You're not using your throat as much with the Gabi voice. Yeah, exactly. It sounds like you're placing it on the roof of your...
Funnily enough, it is in my throat. It's back here. So it's like right here. It does, I know it like sounds up there, but it's actually, all the strain is coming down here.
Whereas when I talk normally, it's all up in here, so it's the top part of my throat.
As opposed to the bottom part of my throat down here. It's like all in here. But it's funny, because I could do this all day. I literally could talk like this all day if I wanted to. You're not using your throat as much with the Gabi voice. It sounds like you're placing it on the roof of your mouth. Raiji described the voice perfectly. Very much so. It's like a hyper toddler on pixie sticks with mixed with Gollum. All I hear is Stitch. Blue punch, Bucky. Blue punch back. Miska na bliska. Blah.
Anyways, back to the story. You must be eager to face the Titan, as promised. We will show you the way. Travel to Bronze Lake in Upper Lenosia. There you'll meet with Real, another man who once served the company. Hey, Real! To ensure that this knowledge does not fall into the wrong hands, you'll remain in hiding until you have given the correct signal. Give me your map. You must whistle loudly at 3 locations I mark. Only then will he appear to meet you at this 4th location. I realize this may seem excessive now, but you will see that it is more than reasonable once you comprehend the risk inherent in our method. You know, it's funny because, like, is Real just hanging around Bronze Lake all the time waiting for those whistles? Because elsewise, like... Well, I guess he must be. Well, if we're going to be hanging out in the spring, if it's all around the spring, then he probably would be hanging around the spring. She's a bastard, got the whole pirate motif going on with one of her glams. Nice. I'll never get over the Gabi voice. Good. I'm glad. I'm genuinely very, very glad that other people enjoy it, because it is a lot of fun to do. Actually maintaining some of the other voices is, not just maintaining them, but like coming up with them and making sure they're consistent is a little hard sometimes, but and I don't always succeed, but the Gabi voice, I know I can do. I can always do the Gabi voice. Thanks for the cowl invite, guys. We'll have stream on background. Good, Power. Good, awesome. Last run of Agalea to do, finish upgrading my Jane gear. Oh, I forgot to do my Agalea run last week. I guess it doesn't matter. I have full raid gear, or not full, near full raid gear at this point, so I don't even need the Agalea gear other than for glam. And I already got all the glam for healer, and I don't really play DPS that much, so I guess I'm done with Agalea. However, I love playing Agalea so much that I probably will do more of it. Speaking of, if anyone wants to do an Agalea run after stream, maybe we can hop in and do that. It's so fun to main tank. It's so fun. It's funny because the only hard fight to tank... Well, no, that's not true. Zima, it can be kind of hard, but like... I mean, okay, once you know all those fights, none of them are hard. They're all very, very easy. But in terms of patterns, Zima and Ralgar are the only rough ones. Ooh, what's Riel's voice? Because he's in Limsa now, but we see him in Gridania and elsewhere. He's God pirate. Hey, greetings, mate. Might you be the one the captain said would be calling? I thought so. Pay attention now, cause I ain't explaining myself twice. Years ago, when we was weighing up how to get to Titan, one of our scouts stumbled across the beastman Aetherite, see? Eh? What's the look for? Not familiar with him? He speaks of an unamplified Aetherite, which has been claimed by a beast tribe. Lest you wonder, there is no fundamental difference between such Aetherites and those which you have used on countless occasions, Elio. Ah, well, if it ain't the Charlian last, welcome back. Forgive me for interrupting. I had planned to await your report, but I succumbed to curiosity. That doesn't sound like Y'shtola. The tunnels beneath Okamoro form a bewildering labyrinth that no outsider has ever fully explored. How the company of heroes managed to navigate it is a mystery I have long pondered. Ah, give us a bit of credit, love. We weren't daft enough to try going in the front. The kobolds are always dragging the new tunnels and filling the old ones with traps. One wrong step and the next thing you know, you got 100 of tons of rock on your noggin. Suicide to even try, you see? Funny thing was, the kobolds didn't seem to have no trouble finding their way round, and it was that as got us thinking. I mean, if Ugamoro mines are like the bleeding city, ain't they? And getting around in the city that big would be a right pain in the arse if you didn't have an Ethernet, wouldn't it? So it stood to reason that kobolds must have had one, didn't it? Even so, if there was an aetheryte shard in the depths of Ugamoro, you would have need to attune yourself to them before you could identify their signatures within the lifestream. Ah, well that's where you're wrong, love. We had the Charlian bloke to help us, see, delivered us right into Titan's bedchamber, he did. I don't rightly know how he did it, but I do remember him saying if it weren't nothing, any Charlian scholar worth her salt couldn't manage. Did he now? Locating a beacon in the absence of a known signature might be possible if the aetheryte in question happened to be... Ah, yes! But in order to guide a traveler to said beacon safely, a second party would be required to... It is possible, in theory at least, yet I cannot be certain until I try. Plainly, all will depend upon whether or not I am worth my salt, as it were. Oh, you are, lass. Don't you worry about that. Have a bit of faith in yourself. Why don't we all go to Zelma's Run and take a closer look at the aetheryte? It ain't far, though there's sure to be a few kobolds blocking the way. Not you can't handle, mind. I'll never get over the Gobby voice. Thanks for the cow. I'll be honest, every time I get to a goblin my replay, I hear Gobby voice. Awesome! Good. Let the Gobby voice spread.
Let the Gobby voice spread. But such is life for Gobby.
Agree. Hardest part of tanking Agalea was learning the fight. Yeah. And like, honestly, the only ones I struggled even a little bit. Ooh, actually, Amalja. Oh no. Because Azima has the thing where you need to be ready for her 3 copy and her, other than her 3 copy, it's, there's not anything that can throw you for a loop, really. Like her fan. I guess the orbs, if she, like her orb knocking can also throw you for a loop. And Ralger, once you know his pattern, is just, it's super easy. And then Naldal and the Baragat are nothing. Yes, I posted a notice in the Decor Loom group channel if anybody's interested to run Agalea after stream since I need to as well. Awesome, Atelier, thanks. Hey, Pedro, glad you could join us. Good to have you. Sorry it's a bit late. I'm been trying to catch up with things. Is the Band of Heroes meant to be the players of... No. The Company of Heroes was around during 1.0 and before 1.0. They are a group that has been around for the better... Well, not all the 6 Astral Era, but the better part of the past century, and were the main people holding the line against the Primals. They are not the Warrior of Lights from 1.0. So there is actually any kind of rule in regards to the hero names, or is a name like Estelle, Ambergoten really out of place? No. Estelle... Actually, sorry. Estellise? Estellise? Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Ambergoten. Also, Ambergoten, I don't know if I've seen your name around, but, hi, welcome, glad to have you. And no, there are some loose rules for Hurian names, not even rules, but, like, generalities, but that is totally a Hurian name you could totally catch with from, be it Midlander or Highlander. The only real hardcore rules that for Hurian names are in Hingashi/Doma. So, like, I would say that, no, for the most part, you're pretty good to go with a name like that within Eorzea. Hey, Issa, I'll muck you up, Agalea. I'll muck up your Agalea run if you want. I mean, you're welcome to join, Issa. Just don't troll. So this is the aetheryte the Company of Heroes used to gain access to Titan's Sanctuary. It is as Populimo suspected. In its present state, this aetheryte signal would not be strong enough for our purposes. I may, however, be able to use my own energies to amplify it. Alas, the task will monopolize my attention for the duration. It seems you will have to proceed without me, Elio. I must need to remain here and supplement the beacon's power, lest you be denied your only path of escape. Fear not. I will summon the Maelstrom's forces stationed nearby to protect us. Oh, sorry, that was the here. With effort, it is possible that I may be able to stabilize the Aetheryte's signal, and thereby join you, albeit belatedly. Until such time as I do, you will be on your own. Now, let us see if I am worth my salt. Been mostly lurking around? Well, thanks for lurking. Glad to have you. I've located another beacon, one far below the mountain. I can only speculate as to what you will find there, so stint not in your preparation. Okay, I'm on Curl with Strimkira oh my god. Strimkira Blueborwin. Are you saying you created this alt so like you can join the free company? If so, let's make sure to get you in. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Titan. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Titan. Anyways, back to my duty. Pedro, funny. Okay, cool. Let's make sure. Ray might be able to give you that invite if Ray's able to. We'll find out. Funny how something so tasking for an experienced scholar such as Soul is so common amongst the kobold. You see how different cultures develop magic knowledge. Well, but remember, that's because the kobolds already have connection to both points of the Aetheryte, Pedro, so they don't have to do what Yashola has to do here. What she's doing is specifically needed because of the way in which we're trying to basically reverse engineer the flow of Aether between the two Aetherites. Is a weird thing that shouldn't be necessarily super possible, and so what she's doing is very difficult. We are ready. I'm ready for Teen Titans.
Look, Overdwellers! Yes, an invader from above! He uses our Aetheryte against us! He has defiled Titan's sacred rich sanctuary! Trespass! Violated! Defied! Overdwellers must leave! Overdwellers must fly!
Brothers and sisters, fear him not. His fate shall be decided by Lord of the Crags. The reason I'm doing a deep voice is because you hear his voice in the 5.55. Hear me, Overdwellers. You and your treacherous brethren must be held to account for the breaking of the covenant. You shall be the first to face judgment, then Limsa Liminsa and her oathbreakers. Liars, betrayers, oathbreakers. O great Father, Lord of Crags, Titan, we summon you. Titan, we summon you. Titan, we summon you. O great Father, Lord of Crags, Titan, we summon you. Titan, we summon you! I hope these trust NPCs have the echo. Yeah, that Supernar, when they created this duty support system, you have to assume that they do have the echo. That's the only way to make sense. But go pound the big boy, you got this. Issa, I got you, Prof, once you're out of cutscene. Sweet, thanks, Issa. Prof, what do you think the Tomberries who have regained their sanity think about modern kobold society? That's a great question. I suppose that it's probably not too different from the real...
He comes! Lord of Crag, Titans, is come!
Overdweller, art thou deaf to their weeping? Thy vile kind coveteth ever the blessing of the land, and murdereth my children by the score, all in service to greed. Such sins are beyond pardon. I don't know why I'm doing Arm Schwarzenegger, but we're going with it. But I am not the first to suffer thy defiance. Thou didst bring Ifrit low. Godless Overdweller, thy myriad heresies shall not go unpunished. Upon thee shall I wreak a terrible vengeance. I love the way kobolds talk, it's adorable.
Look, it's Titus, guys! Titus!
Son of man, murderers of my children.
Took me a while to decide search what Crags meant. I always understood as
Look, I've had weird words like not necessarily hit right away, Pedro, so I'm not making fun of you, but that is a pretty funny. Wait, damn, I'm forgetting. What oath was Limsa are they talking about? I remember you saying something. We'll talk about that in a second, Brotherhood, but there's a history between Limsa and the kobolds. Hey, Everlark! Long time no see. Glad to have you. Funny how the music for Rock God is rock. There you go, Pedro. Good point. I got a gorilla for sale. I shall grind thee beneath my heel. know if it's the version of Titan, oddly enough. Yeah, agreed, Aaron. Also, hey, Aaron, good to see you. It's heart, not Tuma. It's a heart, not a Tuma. Titan, you got to the chopper. Yeah, got to the chopper. Get the kobolds to the chopper. Here we go. Pounding a gorilla, pounding a gorilla, pounding a gorilla. Titan! I shall grind thee beneath my heel, mortal. It's just getting more and more Arnold. For thee my hatred is unending, unyielding. I swear I did not intend to do this. We got to Titan, and I realized I was not ready with a voice for him. So I just went with whatever came out. And apparently it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Titan Arnie noises. Hello, I hope you've been doing well. I have been. The channel's been growing. We've got a lovely people in the chats here, and it's been pretty consistent, so things have been going awesome. I'm glad to see you again. I shall grind your eardrums with my sick guitar and cool beats. Pounding a gorilla. Pounding a gorilla. Arnie Titan is canon now. I'm an Ulda intro cutscene in the Emulsia punching the brass blade. He flies back is always hilarious. Yep. Pounding a gorilla. Pounding a gorilla. Pounding a gorilla. Pounding a gorilla. Titan. And we have an FC. Woo! We do. We do have an FC now. It's true. Thank you for reminding. Hey, Elvin. Sorry, I didn't say it. Good to have you. Glad for you to join us. And for those of you who have joined us and regularly and just don't necessarily lurk, I'm glad to have you currently, and I will also acknowledge you should you speak. So, if you've been around a long time, and I'm saying welcome, forgive me. I'm not always aware because it doesn't show me who's lurking. Get to the chopper!
The Lord of Crags! Great Father Titan has fallen!
He'll be back. I should. Elvin, you had the right rhyme. I'll be back. Then do the extreme chime. You'll be Beethoven. That was very dumb. Forgive me. Earth crystal down. 4 down, 2 to go. I'm ear. I would buy a crystal of light lamp. I couldn't make. I have a 3D model file for the crystal of light, and I have it set up. I literally could make a crystal of light lamp right now. Would people want to see that? Like, if I like made some stuff related to the MSQ, do people want to see that? If so, let me know. The crimes of the Overdwellers shall never be forgiven, never be forgotten. No, no, never. 'Twas your kin who broke the covenant. We have acted only in defense of our lands. Cease your aggressions, or never will there be peace until our dying breaths. We shall defy you, deny, decry, defy. So yes, Limsa Laminsa and the Kobolds had an accord to maintain peace, and the Laminsans broke it a while ago. And so that's part of where like current tensions have been. Now these are the readings one would expect of an icon. I have seen enough. We proceed as planned. Are you sure that is wise, my lord? Your curiosity is untested and unproven. We do not yet know its true capabilities. Then trust in mine, Ratan. My curiosity, as you so eloquently put it, would have bested Titan in the blink of an eye. Why, if there be truth to the legends, it could readily subjugate the whole of Eorzea given but a little while longer. Is that not so? It is not. It is. No greater single power has ever been conceived, much less realized. What you say may well be true, but while such devices may win battles, I do not believe they will serve to change the course of this war. Oh, but they have a little faith, my friend. I cannot endorse this course of action. Fool. And now he has a fourth. Fascinating. Carry on, Crystal Bearer. Far though you have to come, your work is far from done. And naught remain to mark his passing. While that Asians are of nothing if not elusive, it is of little wonder that they should not cast advanced teleportation magics as well. But that they would choose to consort with the Empire. What common goal could they possibly share?
I know she just used short-term teleportation, but like... Well, I guess as long as you have a beacon point. Yeah, okay, no, that would be fine.
I feared I might arrive too late, but since I see you had the matter well in hand, I have taken measures to ensure that you are not pursued, yet I cannot say how long they will hold. Take your leave while the kobolds are still in disarray. I will follow anon. There is something I must investigate before I depart. I will teleport you to the Aetheryte in Zelma's Rune, and we will rendezvous at the Camp Bronze Lake. Agreed?
Just had a healer DC during Livia fighting Castrum. Walking Dead is so much better now. Oh my god, it actually said, yeah, Walking Dead actually works, and it's now comparable to the other ones. I mean, it's not a paladin, it's not paladins, but it is comparable. I mean, but none of them are paladins. Paladins is the best by far. But I'm glad that it has an identity. I haven't done Castrum yet. I'm excited to get there in this because I haven't done it with I haven't done any of the like ending redo stuff, and I'm super excited to see what it's like. That's super cool, Chris. I'm glad you were able to pull it off. I'm eating sunflower seeds and one was burnt. If it's revenge. May you repeat your question, Arnie? I think I misunderstood. Eden, it's almost disturbing how similar your character looks like you, and that's some great character creation right there. You know what's funny? People keep saying that. That was not intentional. That was not like me trying to model him off me. I just made him like, oh yeah, I like this. And then yeah, and my eye sees all the differences rather than similarities, but you are not the first person to say that. So thank you, by the way. I appreciate it. I think he's a good-looking dude, so take that to heart. Thank you, Eden. Imagine that. Pirates being bastards. Never crossed my mind as a possibility. Not once. Oh, the peace treaty because Garlemald in the Battle of Carton now to prevent the two-front war, but how did Limsa break? No. This is treaty between the kobolds and Limsa this was way before that, and they broke it many years ago. This is not recent history. This is like pre 1.0 history. It's not. That's something that you need to be doing side quests, paying attention to the MSQ, and even to have a deeper knowledge of that situation, you need to be reading like Encyclopedia Eorzean, Brotherhood. We can if you want, we can talk in the Discord more about it. I can go into more depth with you, but yeah, that's what's up with that. I completely forgot the Nero interacted with Laha Bread. Yeah, me too, Raiho. Pedro, is there an explanation for those crystals we gathered when fighting big baddies? Yeah, they're crystals of light. So the crystals of light are basically sources of Hydaelyn's light and of aether from earlier points in his, well, not just an earlier point, but are basically Hydaelyn's light made manifest. And having them gives you a stronger connection to her, and are also tokens of symbolically representing the things that you have accomplished, and proving to Hydaelyn, proving things to Hydaelyn, and also deepening your connection with her, which is why you're blessed. Why, when you see that mandala, that is to do with the blessing of light, not the echo. Echo and blessing of light are separate things, but the blessing of light. It basically, effectively, it has to do with it. How much it charges it versus how much is just symbolic of it is a little up in the air. The way I choose to read it, because of how it's depicted, is that the crystal of light deepen your bond and your connection with Hydaelyn. That's also made apparent by the way in which Ardbert and co. and them having them also seem to do something similar.
I like how the Garleans call out the Limitzen Zone, their hypocrisy. Can't go calling out other people as conquerors and ignore the fact that you're doing the same thing just on a wimpier, smaller scale. Yeah, like that's the thing that's great though. Is like all three city-states have problems. If you're paying attention, all three city-states have major problems that they're trying to deal with, that they're ever trying to deal with. You know, and we've had discussions about Gridania and the xenophobia and racism it's partaken in. You know, everyone's very familiar with Uldah's struggles because of 2.x especially, but not to minimize them at all. Elliot, did you play 1.0 at all? No. If so, remember how the Scions were back then? No, I do. I've seen every single cutscene of 1.0 and a lot of footage of 1.0. I didn't have the money to play 1.0, so I wasn't able to during the time it was around. So sadly, I was not there. I was not a founder, though I was aware of it and wanted to be playing it. So I have like this mixed relationship of simultaneously wanting to have been, even at the time, and unable to, which is sad. But my only real thing that I kind of like being able to know about it as a story, as people's time with it as a story. Like that, there's a value to that too. The only thing I do is frustrating is that there's a mount I will never now ever be able to get, and that irks the collector in me. That no matter what I do, I will not be able to get all the mounts. Now, because of PvP, that's also the case, but yeah. I am relieved to see you well, but come, let us discuss our next step. 4th Legion feel like an actual threat now thanks to the dungeon revamp. 4th Legion? Do you mean the 14th Legion, Elvin? Is that who you're referring to? Because the 4th Legion is Gabranth and the people in Dalmasca and Baja, but the 14th Legion is Gaius's. I'm just making sure that that's what you're referring to. Dude, I don't know what's been in the water, but there's a lot of male Zen that thirst lately. Hey, look! I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it indeed. Look at him go. Look at him. Look at that man. Look at that Elzen. Beautiful. Yes, please. I'm still waiting on the Encyclopedia 1 and 2 that I ordered when you first started making videos or when they discovered it became a thing, so about a year ago now. Yeah, Brotherhood. Sadly, they got pushed back. Brotherhood, you know about our Lore Book Club, right? We have Lore Book Club every Friday where we go over all of Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1. If you have an interest, you should definitely join in on those because we're going through it. I was aware of it and attempted to try it, but at the time, both money as well, and then they play didn't really hold me like it does now. Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing is 1.0 was a nightmare, so... Yeah, when the Encyclopedia is finally published, we will have a big celebration. I'll make sure there's an announcement. I'll make sure people are aware. I'm also super excited to go through Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1 First Edition and the Second Edition because I know for sure there are going to be at least a couple of things that they're going to have revised. Well, I don't know. I will 99% sure guarantee you there's a couple things I know they will revise. Not like retcon revised, but just like certain errors and stuff, and it's going to be fun to look at them. The word will already have reached Maelstrom Command. Protocol requires that a representative of our order inform the High Commander of the mission's success. The honor is rightfully yours, Elio. Once again, I must commend you on a job well done. We shall speak again soon. But yeah, either way, Brotherhood, and to, not just Brotherhood, but just like everyone, know that if you have a question about lore, you can always just ask it in our lore channel, or you can also at me in our lore channel, and I will try to get back to you, and I will try to either give you a really good answer, I will try to give you a answer that is great and correct, or I will try to give you a suggestion as to what I think is likely and where you could do further research. That is a big part of what I love doing and what I love about making this channel. So please don't ever feel afraid to ask. And also, and I've seen a couple of you say this, there isn't dumb questions. You may have a question that to me may seem very apparent, and I may be like, oh, well, I thought that was very apparent because of X, Y, or Z, but I'm never going to treat any question as a dumb question. However, if you try to push that to try and find a dumb question, don't do that. That's still that's just trolling. That's not. But yeah. That said. Oh, I thought it was those were like war book reading clubs that were only allowed if you read the book. No, not at all. So I should do a better job making that clear. If you have not read Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1, I would recommend. I can't say anything here, but you should go check out the description of the event. It says something about that you might want to note about messaging me for something. But yes, no, it is intended for people who want to read Encyclopedia Eorzea, whether you have or haven't read it. It's a great resource. So feel free to come and join us. Now, because of timing and stuff, a lot of times lately they've ended up being a little bit A little bit of me more lecturing with people asking questions, but no, for those of you who do join Lore Book Club, it is meant to be a discussion. So if you have a question or have a point you want to make, always feel free to jump in. Just know that I'm used to like trying to lead stuff, so I'm used to trying to like fill negative space, and that I do not mean to talk over any of you.
Aye, it's good to see you, Private Forceron. Word of your triumph reached me some while ago, but I'm pleased to have it personally confirmed. First Ifrit, now Titan. Truly, when I think of your achievements, I feel the loss of the Warriors of Light less keenly. And there could be no greater compliment than that. You and your order are heroes. Suffice it to say, we are glad to have the Scions in our ranks. I shall relay the details of our report to the Admiral forthwith. Please send my regards to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Until next time, Private. Elio, this is Minfilia. Y'shtola has informed me of your success. You have won a great victory for the people of Eorzea, one that shall not be forgotten. And what is more, both you and Y'shtola emerged from Ogamoro unscathed. Why, Tataru and the others seem as glad of that as they did of Titan's fall. You can look forward to a hero's welcome. We'll be awaiting your return at the Waking Sands. Pray return. There is much to discuss. Godspeed. Thanks. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Since I'm caught up on chat, I guess I will just go ahead and use my... since I'm caught up on chat for once, I'll just use my Vesper Bay transportation ticket. Pray return! Meme it in the chat! If only I had a button that I should like make a button that I press and it just like flashes pray return on screen so I can just like while it flashes. I meant the trolling dumb question mark. Of course. Issa, I want you to know when I said that, you were who I was thinking of. So, yeah. Yeah, I know you. I spent a year with you now. I know you. I know what you do. And yet it still doesn't stop you. I wonder if somebody made a Lalafell Minfilia and Rogan and Maxfilia. I've seen both. I have 100% seen both of them. And the second that the Minfilia outfit is cross-gender, I mean, maybe it is already, but then I bet you will see a Maxfilia, a male row Maxfilia. Pray return. Pray return indeed, Aaron. Oh, right, this is when this happens. Okay, changing mood. This one is glad. Walking one is safe.
We'll be awaiting your return at the Waking Sands. There is much to discuss. Godspeed. Thank heavens he is safe. Louis Soir, do you see? Your light shines brightly in this one, and in time it will illuminate the realm once more. Oh!
We have come for the one who slayed Ifrit and Titan. Bring him forth, or you shall know no mercy.
Confound it.
It's a strange reaction to that.
Stay out of sight. I would leave a message with you. I surrender myself, on the condition you spare the innocents.
Conditions? There speaks the Supreme Sire. I'll grant you have courage, but you would be better served by armor.
Search all you will. The one you seek is not here.
So it would seem.
And yet you knew to look here. But how?
Hold that thought.
No!
Conditions of surrender denied.
Cease at once!
Have you not done enough?
Perhaps. Enough. We must away. Though we have not found our quarry, the High Priestess of the Scions should suffice for now. They say she also possesses the Echo. I cannot wait to hear her scream. I said enough! We leave. Bring the prisoners.
Waking one, walking one, Philly asked this one to... in case walking one return. This was to say, at church in eastern Hydaelyn, walking one must claim sanctuary. This one tried to protect walking one Minfilia from Imperial one. Forgive this one. Save. What are notices for the HUD? Not sure what that was for, Professor. I remember doing this for New Game Plus when I got there. I thought, oh wow, the Waking Sands is going to be lively right now. Walks into a hall of dead bodies. Yeah, oh, indeed. It's especially sad too because a number of the Scions who died were characters you could interact with, and we did several times during downtime between missions, so it makes it all the more impactful. And some of them were from 1.0. Some of them are relationships that have been around for a long time. So I usually skip all the side quests and save them for leveling. Eden, I'll say this. So I was just talking about this elsewhere, but as each expansion goes along, the side quests get better and better and better and really flesh out not only the world around them, but further really expand upon ideas and parts of the MSQ. Shadowbringers is the first one I think that does it phenomenally, and Endwalker has elevated it. Endwalker side quests are just the way they tie into the world, enhance the story, and build upon it and broaden it is just tremendous. Just tremendous. Never understood why they wouldn't lay an ambush in this location. Guess they were scared they were noticed or something. I'm not sure who you're referring to, Brotherhood. The Monotone during the events point, yeah, didn't know Stella. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like Minfilia is such a better character than her voice acting, and her voice acting underserves her. Not to even like just cast. I'm not even just like casting shade at the voice actors. I'm just saying like the performance in a vacuum underserves the character. Yeah, respect to Neuraxia. We should all hope to strive to give our all to the end to do something of the utmost value. Livia, yeah, isn't among the dead here. I wonder if she escaped. Wasn't she? I thought she was. I thought she was one of the Ellas in UC. She did say she was expecting to be sent on a mission. Maybe she was away. I thought she. I'm certain. Let me double check this, but I'm almost certain that in Eorzean Archives Volume 1 says that she died in the attack. The Duskwhite member of the Averia's inept band of would-be adventurers living at the Avine had begun feeling the first stirring affections for Averia in the days before their fateful descent into Tamterra Deepcroft, and his death was especially difficult for her. To forget her pain, she took upon several odd jobs with the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, but was killed at the age of 21 during the Imperial raid on the Rising Stones. Yep, she was one of the dead. Vesper Day is still partial to Ul'dah. If Garleans were seen here, they'd have to contend with. Well, guys, remember, guys, you're all forgetting. Cape Westwind is literally a Garlean castrum is right here, and a huge Garlean outpost is right here. So like they're right by Vesper Bay and have been for a long time. She did, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, I already answered. The Garleans. Why didn't they decide to ambush the player there? Because they did. Why did they hang around? Okay, yeah. I guess Everlark's point does make. It's possible. Yeah, I think Everlark's point is good to that. Is a good point to that. With why the staying there for a long period of time. Also, because they know they already have the bargaining chips. They took all their friends. They know they can make the Warrior of Light come to them on their terms and to wherever they want. You know, so they're actually almost better off instead of laying an ambush there, waiting to try and get them by bringing them to another castrum or to somewhere else where they know they won't have to worry about anyone interjecting. And Minfilia's voice actress in AR was not the best. I do think it's partly the voice actress. I do think it's also majorly because there's so many issues across the board. I think it's vocal direction is a big part of it as well. And I think people underestimate how much vocal direction matters. Is something troubling you, my son? You have the look of one who has endured great suffering. Is there anything I can do to help you? Anything at all? You need only ask. Why is that the top option? The wild roses. I see. You may speak freely here. We are all friends of the Scions. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Good. I'm glad that answered your question, Brotherhood. And I guess people that skip reinforcement being bad. Yeah. How could this have happened? And you are certain that Minfilia was among those taken by the Garleans? Let us pray no further harm comes to them. You may stay here for as long as you wish. It is the least I can do for a friend of Minfilia's. I have known her since she was but a child. Well do I recall the day of our first meeting. I swore then to do everything in my power to support her, and I will gladly offer the self-same service to her brother and sister Scions. So please, no matter what you require, you need not hesitate to ask. Marcus, would you come here for a moment? Yes, Father? Yes, Father. What an odd stranger. If you require assistance, pray speak with Marcus. He is a trifle shy, but I assure you he means well. I should explain. Marcus is a survivor of the Battle of Cartenow. Alas, his experience took a terrible toll upon his mind. Had we not taken him into our care, he would surely have perished in the desert. Marcus, I want you to look after Elio. Do you understand? Yes, Father.
I was disappointed to learn that they cut out a particular part of the MSQ during the Realm Reborn quest calling, where you, as the Warrior of Light, went to offer a prayer for the fallen Scions. Oh, did they remove that? Huh. Weird. That's really interesting that they... Atelier, do you know if they removed that, but they also still allow you to do it? Like, is it a side quest? I wonder. I always thought La Habre teleported them in so they wouldn't be noticed. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know why that would be any more likely. And also, La Habre doesn't seem as actively... Wow. I mean, yeah, it's possible, Alvin. I don't know that that's confirmed, but it's possible. The fact that the matter is that we only really see him with Nero, a little bit with Gaius, and we don't see him with Livia, really. That'd be kind of weird, but maybe. And the message said, but the gods are silent. Oh, Atelier, I forgot about that. Oof. The way Alphino is about to enter right now made me roll my eyes the first time around. I needed to lower my character limit for my computer's sake. Death begets death. Death begets death, especially in those places where privation is the sovereign. A corpse left unburied is rich as a field to Vilekin, where they may sow pestilence and watered with their miasma. Nowhere is the rule of privation so apparent as lost hope. A man may die upon the roadside there and go unclaimed, for no ties bind these unhappy folk together except a common misfortune. Their homelands are no more. But as long as they live, some hope remains, and so we must thwart pestilence ere it begins. Will you deliver this repellent to the den of sorrow? Oh, that's a side quest, isn't it? Abandon that. Excuse me, Elio. Do you have a moment? It concerns this broken horlock, which was found in the pocket of a man brought here for burial. There's something familiar about it, but just what I cannot say. Perhaps if I tinker with the device, it'll come to me. However, I lack the proper tools to do so. I would ask that you journey to Camp Drybone in my stead to obtain a bull-point chisel and a pair of needle-nosed pincers. They are often used by goldsmiths, so perhaps they would be the best people to ask. Of course, I do not expect you to foot the bill. Here, take this coin purse. That should cover it. I'm not sure. I don't remember doing a side quest like that, at least. I just heard from people who played AR prior to the trimming. Interesting. Yeah, I'll keep a mind out for it. I'll wonder, too. I wonder if you can offer, like, still offer that prayer like, if you go to them. I'm just seeing quick if there's, like, any interactable thing. I mean, we haven't done anything with the bodies yet, so probably not. Yay, Agalea finished, and no more need to run it for gear coins. Nice! Awesome power. Unless, of course, you know, you want glam. Man, I wish oh god, what I wouldn't give for the Agalea chess piece to have dye channels, because if you could just dye it more than one color, I'd love it so much more. Ah, a ballpoint chisel, you say? And a pair of needle nose pliers? Those things don't come cheap, you know. A small yet heavy leather sack containing a presumably roughly the amount of gil needed to purchase the tools requested by Marcus. Any surplus coin could be considered commission owed to whichever party in the transaction is bright enough to claim it as their own. I also haven't done MSQs for 4 years, like ARR MSQ, so. Thal's balls. I mean, yes, that should be sufficient payment.
Nice doing business with you. I'm back! Welcome back, Catherine! I had to go to the store, walk the dog, cook supper, resting while I eat my meal. Nice! Well, I'm glad you got all that stuff done. Glad to have you here. Hopefully this will be restful and relaxationing. Raiji. Yeah, it does feel a little weird not having some quests as I play through on Loki, my Viera mail, since I had done my main Ezra, everything before the Great Trimming. Yeah. It's funny, it's been so long at this point, I actually don't remember. I actually still have to look up the, like, list of quests that were cut versus ones that weren't. I so wish that, perhaps one day we can die that way. Yeah. D, I think it's unlikely because of the work involved, but boy, do I really hope so. If we were gonna get it, the time when we get it is now when they're retexturing a lot of armors. So if we're gonna get it, 7.0 is when we get it, and I don't think it's likely, sadly. However, I desperately want it. No game has yet fulfilled me in terms of dying as much as Guild Wars 2 has and its die system. Have you brought the tools I requested? Unlike carpenter's chisels, which have flat heads, the ballpoint chisel is a pointed one and used by expert goldsmiths to perforate small metals. I actually have one of these. Actually. So, like I said, I used to do make cosplay for a living, so the difference between a normal file and a bullhead file. Needle nose pincers. What? Pincers? Those are needle nose pliers. Whatever. This tool is often employed by goldsmiths or clockwork engineers to seize and manipulate minuscule pieces of wire. Yeah, it's 3 channels per item, Issa, but on top of that too, like if you get a die, you get one of the die, you use it, and you permanently have that die. Something occurs to me. Please, wait here a moment. It was for naught. Though I repaired the device easily, the sensation that stirs within me remains a mystery. But how did I do it? These hands, my hands, they moved with a mind of their own, deftly manipulating the clockwork mechanisms. There was no doubt or uncertainty. I knew exactly what to do, as though I had performed the same motion countless times before. Pardon me, Elio. This was a mistake. Please, give the horlog to Sister Eliund, and the man who once owned it is currently in her care. I think it best that it be returned to him. Hey, Digbox! Well, Digboss, welcome to glad to have you. Oh my god, can't speak today. I have to ask, what's your chocobo's name? Thanks to Sayreen, who keeps giving me super chats to go buy vanilla milkshakes. The name of my chocobo is... Well, whoops. Is... Milkshake! Which is why one of our episodes is called Chocobo Milkshakes. But yes, thank you, Sayreen, who I'm pretty sure is gone at this point because it's so late in Europe. But for all your money you've given me for milkshakes. Good evening to you, sir. Have you come to pay your respects to this man? By some manner of clockwork wizardry, this strange contraption can precisely measure and follow 24 bells in a single turn of the sun. Never before have I seen such a queer device. You say that it measures the passing of time? Mayhap they are more common in Garlemald. I'm given to understand that its cities are filled with all manner of amazing technologies. Marcus said that it belonged to the deceased? Oh dear, you don't suppose that the owner might have been a Garlean spy? It may behoove us to notify the authorities in Camp Drybone. But mayhap, more importantly, how did Marcus manage to repair this device? I knew he had a talent for the trades, but this goes far and beyond mending fences and thatching roofs. Let's get jump on chat quick. I can't imagine going through AR post-patches MSQ again. I started in October and nearly died of exhaustion reading all of that dialogue since I didn't want to skip anything. Well, I mean, like, as much as I had a hard time going through the first time, the thing is, because I've gotten as much into the lore and the channel and all that stuff, going through is a lot easier. It's still not paced very, very well, but it is a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier than it used to be. And on top of that, the changes to the dungeons have been a huge boon as well. And then triply, I'm streaming it, which talking to you guys makes the whole process a lot more fun. However, it's also a lot slower. I'd point out to the fact that I'm like, I'm on episode 9. Each episode's 3 hours. So I'm at, 27 hours in, and I'm not even to the third trial. So, but I hear you, boss. Bought a new toy for Sandy, the German Shepherd. Cute baby hyena stuffed dog toy. Aw, she loves the toy. Aw, it's very good. It's very, very good. Even going through it again, I still don't really skip the MSQ. Stuff at least. Yeah, my internet keeps lagging the stream. I keep getting small snippets before it just pauses. I just lurk for a while, guys. Oh, Eden, I'm sorry. If you don't catch this now, I hope you catch it on the VOD. Thanks for hopping, for coming at all. I appreciate it. I want to potentially cosplay my main Ezra one of these days. Yeah, I keep going back and forth. I've been 3D printing and working on a Graha staff and stuff. So like, part of me kind of wants to do an Crystal Exarch cosplay if I go to FanFest, but also part of me wants to just do a Elio cosplay because that would be fun. I believe they made the die unlock accounts wide as well. Yeah, I kind of want to replay Heaven's Word Shadowbringers at some point, though. It's great. It's great there, in my opinion. Yeah. Heaven's. We're starting with. I would say not even starting with Heaven's. We're starting with 2.x. The pacing gets massively improved. Hey, thanks. Found you guys early this week. I've been having a big binge, extremely high quality content. Awesome. Thanks. I'm so glad you enjoy it, and I hope you continue enjoying it. Thanks for coming in here. Super glad to have you. My milkshake bringeth yon gentlefolk to mine yard, and verily is better than thine. Wait, clocks weren't a thing in Eorzean yet? Yeah, they are. They're just not super common, and only become more common in the 7th Astral Era. Only sun clocks or something, or no way to tell time. No, they're not super common, but they do exist. But they become, it's actually part of like Goldsmith quests and stuff that like they're becoming more readily available. Being serene, milkshake! Okay, I guess I have to go get yet another milkshake after stream. Oh, the horror. Thanks, Issa. Thank you so much. I will gladly spend that money on the milkshakes. The sun is a way to tell time. That too. Nice in the name of milkshake! In the name of milkshake. I could instruct you, Prof, but I could instruct you, but I would need to levy a fee. Hey, Ariel! Lol, indeed. I don't know why I mounted. I recognize you now, Elio. Allow me to express my deepest condolences for those who lost their lives in the attack. I apologize if discussing this upsets you, but you should know that the bodies of your comrades are presently being removed from the Waking Sands and prepared for transport here. If you wish to leave this work to others, I understand. However, taking part might help you to find closure. Okay, well, we're at least doing the bodies thing, so we'll see if they... Hi, finally able to chat a little now that I'm out of work. Awesome! Glad you were able to. Super glad to have you. And glad that you were both... Thank you for both watching and also for engaging. It is deeply appreciated. Oh, God. I think for me, the fun part will be trying to decide what armor set I want to use as his main design, so to speak, for it. I finally decided to... See, my problem is that for a long time, my mains armor set was the elemental armor set, which I know I could have made it using Warbluff foam and LEDs to, like, make the elemental set, but that would be a big pain in the ass. And also, the sword I used was the Heaven's Word Shadowbringer relic, and so, like, making that work would have either required adding plexiglass on the side after 3D printing the core and finishing that up and making it, which in order to make the like blade sides come out, or not doing that. But if you don't do that, then it sounds cool. And so that wouldn't have worked. And my current playing as Paladin is my current main. I still have never found I haven't got a glam for my Paladin look that I've been happy with. So I couldn't really do that. But Elio could definitely do it. And people might even recognize it, so that'd be cool. I'm gonna set up Stream Kira's retainers as her brother and sister. Oh, that's cute. That's a fun idea. Yeah. Eh, you don't look like one of them church fellows. No, not that I'll turn you away. No, sir. As you can see, we've got a pile of unidentified bodies over yonder. No one's come to claim them, so off to the lich yard they go. Be thankful you didn't have to go inside and see the carnage for yourself. 'Twas the stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Goddamn Imperials. I don't know what quarrel they had with these folk, and I sure as hell don't want to know.
The sooner we put this behind us, the better. Say, ain't I seen you around here before? Or do you just have one of them faces? Ah, never mind. Any road, there's a carriage come to haul the bodies to the Lich Yard out by the east gate. There's only 8 left to load up, but seeing as I'm exhausted from carrying all the others, I've mind to leave the remainder to you. Might want to cover your nose while you work. Some of these folks starting to turn.
For those of you who were not around last time, the symbol for the corpses is the Nymean lily, which is the symbol of Nymea, the spinner. And it is a symbol of those of death and offered to those who have passed on.
What happened to the big fella? Ah, forget it. I'm just bringing the next batch and toss them in the back. Ain't like they'll complain if you're rough.
How you are able to fit this stiff scion of the Seventh Dawn corpse into your bag is a mysterious mystery best left unsolved.
Well, ain't ye a strong one? 4 in one trip? Reckon there's no need for me to lend you a hand with the rest of them, then.
As someone who's a major amateur cosplay maker, I've only done a couple of cosplays. What useful advice would you give me as a more experienced craftsman? Well, it super depends on what you mean, boss. Because one, it depends if you're talking about hard goods or soft goods. So like my specialty, not my exclusive specialty, but my specialty is working with weapons and hard edge model making particularly. Though I do soft goods as well. So it really, the thing is that there's so many broad practices involved. I mean, there's the like really general stuff like measure twice, cut once. But if you want to know more about 3D modeling, that's a specific thing. If you want to know more about foam crafting and foam smithing, that's a different thing. If you want to know about sewing and patterning, that's a different thing. So it kind of depends on what specific information you want. Also, what's your budget? Because your budget drastically changes the materials you're working with, the time you're working with. The project matters, what the like fundamental thing you want to work with matters. For 3D modeling, I can tell you good programs. I can tell you some best practices. I can, just it depends. The bodies take different times to pick up. Yeah. It's the attention to detail, man. Come on. Let's finish this before I die of old age. The sylph's peaceful expression belies the fact that she no longer lives. That should be all of them. Thanks for the help. Reckon it won't take too long to deliver all the corpses to the Lich Yard. Even so, you might want to hurry back and tell them that our work here is done. Forgiving the Imperials won't ever be an easy thing to do, even while doing the Reaper quest. I found it difficult to empathize with our trainer and her lackeys. So here's the thing. Everyone has committed war crimes and atrocities. That does not mean that Garlemald's not worse in almost every conceivable way. But the important thing here is that things only ever get better if we learn to forgive and are able to forgive where able, and to try to move pastward and move into a better world. I'd also point that the Lemures are left Garlemald pretty early on when things were getting bad, and also were not part and parcel or aware of just how bad things were outside of Garlemald proper. Remember that when most of them went to Corvos, they were like, oh my god, we're doing what? Oh no, we're the bad guys. And that's why they left. I'd point out that the Lemures are worth remembering, like they are people who benefited from Garlemald's excess, but also are the ones who went, oh no, the second they realized just how bad it was and what they were part of. I see, so you decided to heed my advice. I pray that in doing so you found some small measure of peace. The first carriage from Vesper Bay arrived not long ago, and we have begun preparing your comrades for burial. I had a hand in the initial rites, and I would like you to know that for many, death came quickly. Rest assured that we will treat them with the utmost respect and do everything we can to shepherd them to Thal's realm. But actually, funny that you mentioned that, by the way, Eden. The next episode of End Talkers will be coming out tomorrow. And I would love if you guys listen to it. Episode 6 will be coming out tomorrow. There hasn't been one for a month or two because of just life circumstance, trying to get everything in order for the channel. But, and we talk about a lot about that, about Garlean war crimes and about things to do with that. I would highly recommend checking it out. Although we can perform rites for the most of the scions, there is one who we cannot accept. We would like you to return this one to her people, the Sylphs of Little Solace. It is the only proper that should be given into the care of her friends and family, so that they may mourn her in accordance with the Sylphic traditions. Bury me not on the lone prairie. Is the name of the quest. Okay. War makes monsters out of everyone. Yeah. And that's not to say that there aren't greater or lesser degrees. And that's not to say, it's not false equivalency. It's not to say like, oh, you know, like everyone does bad stuff. It's not that at all. But it's worth noting that the only way things get better, the only way the wheel stops turning is when we try to move past what has been and try to make a better future together. It's the only way it happens. Then that's not to disagree with you and say it's not going to be hard. Or that it is hard. Well, okay, stuff I've worked with has been cloth so far, so I'd love some advice on hard crafts, especially since I was planning on doing Gwendolyn Mask. I'm like, oh, hey, I made one of those a while ago. I don't think I have any photos of it. But for Gwendolyn Mask, do you use 3D printing at all? And if not, what I would say is, depends on your budget. You could easily paper mache. I would say create a form of that using foam or paper mache, and then use Bondo. On top of whatever form you make to give it rigidity and strength. I would use probably dowel rod for the longer bits that stick off of the mask to make sure that they are supported and not just paper mache or foam in and by themselves. What you could do is you could make the core, drill holes into the part where the long rods come off, drill the hole in the rod in the like little parts that come off, and then glue them on. Then when you put the Bondo on, you can smooth out the seams. Nothing Trevor said. A power war brings light, demands dark tendency. Yep. Hey, Brotherhood, I'm sorry I missed you. I hope you catch the VOD. Good night, folk. I'm going to work on my assignment a bit longer without that smooth voice in the background. It's going to be a bit late here at Dutchy. Sleep tight, everyone. Sorry if I missed you, Brotherhood. Night. I've never used a 3D printer before in my life. I can use some money. It gives a good amount of extra. I can use some money if it gives them. Okay. Dig Boss, if you could join the Discord, I can give you some. I can talk to you in general there, or we can talk about that later. I'd love to offer some helpful advice. Look forward to the video. Good, Eden. Good. It'll be out tomorrow. My plan is tomorrow is going to be End Talkers episode 6 for our video for the week, and I think we're also gonna have a lore talk on Friday. I think I'm gonna try to have 2 videos out this week since it's only an End Talkers and a lore talk, and that will give me time to work on other videos as well. Cool. Awesome, Dig Boss. Okay, I'm back. How's the management going? It's going! Nothing sad at all has happened, Nick. Everything's great. This one is surprised to see Walking One in Little Solace. How can these ones assist Walking One? Rexia? But this one does not understand. Kumuxio, this one heard much wailing. This one would know what has caused such distress. Terrible news, Elder One. Awful news. Walking One has returned to Little Solace, but why? These ones have not requested further aid. Oh, Frixio should have a deeper voice. Norixia, how did this happen? Explain everything to this one at once. So, not only Norixia, but many of Walking One's friends were lost as well? Norixia? Norixia went to Hydaelyn at the behest of this one. Walking One was with Norixia at the end. Tell this one that Norixia was brave. Tell this one that Norixia did not suffer. This one is glad to hear Walking One's words. Thank you for bringing Norixia home, Walking One. These ones wish to thank praying ones. Tell praying ones these ones will remember this kindness. This one demands vengeance! Imperial ones must pay! Imperial ones must suffer! When time comes for walking ones to face Imperial ones, do not forget these ones. These ones would not have Nerexia's death be for naught. These ones will fight. Let's just put it this way. Usually in war crimes are committed by all sides. It's only losers who are prosecuted. Typically, yeah. My daughter is a 3D printer, but I sculpt from scratch. Nice, Catherine. Yeah, I do both. It just depends. So sometimes if I'll sculpt something using modeling clay and then make a silicone mold and then cast in resin or other materials. Or sometimes I 3D print and I'll make a mold out of that. Sometimes I use that for the final product. Like the saw cleaver behind me. This is 3D printing and this is all 3D printing and Bondo and different stuff. Another example of... So other 3D printing, Star-Lord's blasters. This is all 3D printing, 3D modeling, 3D printing. And one of my favorites, a 3D printed goblin minion. I made this for my partner, but she leaves it here, so, Little Gobbo, we call him Gobbo McGee, which is not a lore-accurate goblin name. Did we put the sylph in our pocket and fly over here? Pretty much, Nick, pretty much. Do the sylphs join in with the fight later? That's the thing is, well, I mean, kind of. With the Grand Company of Eorzea, they do join us. So, effectively, yes. Do they do it earlier than 5.5? 5? Maybe? I don't remember offhand. Can't think of an example where they do. We seem to put a lot in our pockets. Yeah, Aurora, seriously. Oh, by the way, welcome back, Aurora. Gasp. Gasp indeed, Atelier. Yay, the second Gobbo of the archives. Yes. Gobbo McGee and Tome Fix checker books. We thank you for your service in the church and to the sylphs. You may be pleased to know that in your absence we have interred the remaining scions in the Lich Yard. Perhaps you still wish to do more for your friends? If so, I will remind you that you've already done so much on their behalf. Please, take a rest. Set aside your burdens for now, Elliot. I don't remember ever seeing any of the original Beast tribes help us in the fight with the Guardians, now that I think about it. At least not, maybe not in 2.0, but they definitely do in 5.x. I think Elio just read right over my last thing. I guess I did. Anything else cool happening this week, Elio, since the other half mentioned it in their stream yesterday? Yeah, you missed it, Isa. We were talking about it beforehand. We are going to be on Work to Game. We are going to be hanging out with Brian and Chris over there, and those two are awesome guys. And yeah, Isa, we talked about it already. You're late. But yes, that'll be happening Thursday. It'll probably be coming out Thursday. Depends on if Brian or Chris, depending on who's editing it, tosses out immediately. Usually they tend to be able to get it out very, very quick, unlike us. So, yeah, all three of us are going to be there. Me, Isidoril, and Naniri. So if you'd like to hear from me, Isidoril, and Naniri, you usually only hear from Naniri from Lore Talks and End Talkers, and you only hear from Isidoril in the chat, or when he be trolling, or I guess in Discord sometimes. But if you like, we will all three of us be on there. Yes, Ray is best mod. Nicole says, count me in. We have a backpack that is only limited by how many different items we carry, but can carry 999 of any given item. Look, this is one of those pieces of lore, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm not imagining it, Elio. I know I'm being watched. This is different, sinister. It is as if I am under observation. The feeling comes and goes, but I felt it when I last ventured outside. Yes, I know I felt it. Will you look outside for me, please? It will only take a moment. Ray is the Elder Primal of the Archives. It's funny how the game makes fun of how seemingly endless our backpack is. Yeah. The game, Final Fantasy XIV is nothing if not tongue-in-cheek. You were attacked, weren't you? You were attacked, weren't you? Are you unharmed? Thank the gods. I knew it. He was watching me. But why? Why was he watching me? What did he want with me? Did he perhaps know something of my past? If only I could have asked him. I need to think. Please, allow me a moment. Wait, Father Illud, you must hear of this. Will you tell him for me? It's important. I think others may come for me again. Heavens forfend that such a thing should happen on our holy ground. Do you have any idea who the man was? Did you notice anything distinctive about his garb or possessions? Imperial shortsword. This is Garlean steel, which means the man who was watching Marcus was... Make haste to Camp Drypone at once. We must summon the immortal flames before more Imperials come. I keep getting boots. Give me a chest. Give me a chest. Like a 13-year-old teenage female yells to the heavens, give me a chest! That was really bad. Oh well.
I fondly hope that I might be the first to speak with you. Would that I had been so fortunate. At ease, adventurer. I come not on behalf of the Empire. On the contrary, I mean to revive the scions of the Seventh Dawn. And to that end, I have come in search of a legend, the greatest engineer of our time, Master Cid Garland. I have come for you.
I fear you are mistaken, child. He is
That's
but a
his
poor
voice?
soul who bore witness to the horrors at Cartano.
Okay.
I beg of you, leave us in peace.
Wait, Hear me, Cid. Eorzean needs you.
Dig, I haven't played it in 4 years. So, I played it in English, I just haven't played it in 4 years.
Here, these belong to you.
A pandemic and much else has
You
happened
bore
since,
the
so...
mark of greatness. It seems that I was right. Our time together was all too brief, but it felt as though my son had returned to me. You have brought joy to an old man's life. But it is time for you to help those who truly need you.
Who are you? Alfino Leveilleur, at your service. As a scion of the Seventh Dawn, I stand against our primal and imperial foes, as my grandfather once did. 'Tis no secret what befell our order at the Waking Sands. Word has already spread across Eorzea. The repercussions are far greater than you realize. In the wake of the calamity, the 3 city-states focused their efforts solely on reconstruction, leaving the scions to combat the primal threat unaided. And lo, we are all but destroyed. Yet even as the nations mourn our demise and abandon what little hope they have left, we cannot forsake our duty, now least of all. The Ixal have summoned Garuda once more, and she torments the people of Kurthus as we speak. Her appetite for destruction far exceeds that of other primals. Worse, in her present incarnation, our Baldessian colleagues believe she surpasses both Ifrit and Titan in strength. Yet, therein lies an opportunity. Were we somehow to defeat Garuda, it would serve as a warning to the other beast tribes that even their mightiest gods can be felled. If we are to face our foe, we must first circumvent the tempest that shields her sanctuary. And for that, we need an airship. Your airship, Sid.
I have an airship?
Yes, Sid, you do. Your very own airship. It was last seen in the skies over Gridania, not long before the calamity. So let us begin our search there.
An airship?
It's like a great example, like the fact that he's snooty right there with poor direction more than his
My
poor performance.
airship?
Because he wasn't probably directed, he made it like, yes, you do, rather than being like, yes, you do. Like
Wait.
encouragement. There's the boy.
Come, let us put an end to the primals. Together, we will show the world that the Scions are still a force to be reckoned with.
They need my airship. They need me.
Yeah, the other thing is like like Dig, that's like one character from a long ass time ago. Like I wasn't thinking, yes, 4 years ago I'm going to commit to memory 4+ years ago to commit to memory this one character's voice, especially in the fact that a Realm Reborn voice actors change over too. Whilst vacating the company of the buffoons, every whim I was gathering information on our weathered foe. As a result, I was not present when the Garleans came. I suppose we should be grateful for our good fortune, though it matters little should Garuda grow powerful enough to bring Eorzean to heel. The Enterprise. I've heard that name before, but where? Okay, I think that's what we're going to call MSQ for today because that's a really good stopping point. Let's go get a new chess piece. Let me catch up on chat. Patron Saint of Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not who sure you mean, Nick. I tell you, I wish my back bad had eyes and mouth and started talking to us about going on an adventure while quizzing us what items we. Okay, Dora the Explorer. Can I punt the cocky? Alphino is the original Redditor version. Yep, and his growth is wonderful and his arc is wonderful. And the part of the problem is like his voice acting doesn't help. But like it is also part of his arc. I always use backpack as a call out in my static. Sid is easily the best Garlean in the game. Also love how much we rely on each other throughout the year of the journey. You know, Eden, I guess I wouldn't be prone. I'm prone to very rarely ever saying best because I would say there's so much in the term of value to Euless. There's so much in terms of the value of Livia's story, of Maxima's story, of like all the different Garlean stories we get has so much value and are so wonderful that like while I love Sid's story, it also only gives you Sid's story is more about Sid and him being an exile from somewhere. More than it is him being a Garlean. Like, dealing with the Garlean roots, sure, and making up for it, sure. But, like, having the narrative of those who were in and of Garlemald too is so valuable and so resonant that for my money, I value them just as highly. Not that I don't love Sid, like, as one of the best characters or anything, but just that would be my... Okay, guys. Oh, come on, we have to do that, right? Oh, but leopard print. Ah, that's boring. If we do that, we can do that when we get to Ishgard. Okay. We have to grab it. There's only one, so we're gonna grab it no matter what anyways. Let's use that. Oh, okay. Okay, guys. Are we doing that? Which are we doing? Look at that. That's a look. You guys will have to help me decide. In the meantime, I'm gonna catch up on chat. Citizens, if anyone watched Teeny Tots, no idea what that is. I'd like to think I got a Saktu magic. I have no idea what that is. The pinnacle of studios can be seen in the heights of Alfie. It reaches in the scene. I don't understand how the primals are such a threat when it's so difficult to actually get to them. I mean, remember that part of the problem though is that like Garuda can like sweep in anywhere and just like temper and bring the tempests with her. She can move them around. So while she's impenetrable right now, we can't get to her when we want. She can get to us when she wants. Primal Twitter is savage. Its growth has been insane. Not stature-wise, of course. He's still very small. Lemo's compliment. I was just curious. Yeah. No worries, boss. Knowing how much Alfie grows by the time of Endwalker makes me appreciate and love it. Realm Reborn. Alfie knows so much more. Knowing the beauty behind such development. Yep. Playing Japanese myself. After I heard the AR voices, which I didn't enjoy that much, I might replay it in English just to hear the differences. I would highly recommend you do. I've played a lot of it in Japanese. I don't enjoy them as much, and it's not. I listen to and play a lot of media, both in Nihongo and English, and I just depends thing to thing. But there's a lot of characters that just their Japanese performances do not fit. And it was not like, I'm more familiar with English beforehand. I listened to the Japanese before playing the English. I was like, that just doesn't feel right. And then I heard the English. I'm like, that's perfect. Oh my god, that's amazing. However, A Realm Reborn is not great in a lot of cases. And yet they still tease him about gathering firewood. The saint is Sid Garland, founder of Garland Ironworks, savior of the world. It sucks what helps Alfino actually mature to the way of the world, but it was unfortunate need to help him become who he is now. Yeah, and then isn't that the story of life, right? Nice trip. Heart. Hey, Brooke. Can't say no to the drip. Love the look. So are we saying leopard print? Or are we saying, are we doing leopard print? Or are we doing, we doing the, look at this. You can even though I have pants on, you can see it. Look at that. I need to switch out the axe and I get a new axe too. And let's change out the gloves. Yeah, that's good. There we go. That's good. Leopard print, baby. Fancy boy all day. Okay, let's hear. I got an idea. Let's make a poll. Fancy boy. Lepo print. Okay, guys, putting a poll up. Is it leopard print or fancy boy? You guys get to decide. Both look cute, but I like the fancy one. It's all up to you guys. Vote. The vote is yours. In the meantime, let me pull up. Check offer. Hey, Jalali, good to see you. Fancy boy, but look cute, but look at this. You know, all you have to do is ask and I can make you your gear. Yeah, no, true, Tethys. It's less about that and more seeing how, but yeah. Fancy boy. So yes, the best boy in the game is in JP, though. Okay, looks like we're going fancy boy, guys. It's looking like it's fancy boy. It's a fight, but... Okay. That's a look we got there. We got going there. Okay. It's a little early. We're 10 minutes early, but I think we've got a really good stopping point for the day. So, what I think we're gonna go over stuff. So everyone, don't forget that we have a Discord. which is where you can come hang out with us. You can ask me lore questions. You can talk to all of our lovely people, and it's always a great time there. And it's not just Final Fantasy stuff, so if you want to talk about other things, you can as well there. And it's constantly an ever-growing community. If you want to join our FC, we have a free company on Crystal Curl, which you can come join. And if you are unable to join that because you are not on Crystal Curl, you can always join our Crossworld Link Shell, which is constantly full of interesting chat going on with all sorts of different people who also help each other. Don't forget that we have streams every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, whereas Wednesday we release videos. And hopefully we'll be releasing 2 a week sometime in the next couple of weeks to months, depending on if I can get to a point where we make enough money from the channel to be able to go full-time, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later. If you like reading lore, make sure to check out our Patreon, our website, eorzeanarchives.com. If you'd like to support us, however, you can feel free to check out our Patreon. It helps make this whole thing a lot more sustainable, and there's a lot of fun little goodies you can get there. We're also going to be working towards making that. We're going to be revitalizing the Patreon a little bit, making the rewards maybe a little more meaningful. On top of that, I'd like to say that we're going to be trying to do the merch stuff sooner rather than later because people have expressed an interest in it. So if you have specific things you're interested or want, please offer feedback and suggestions. It's very useful in order to trying to figure out what we should do. Patreon, Discord. To all our patrons, by the way, thank you so much for making sure that we can do this thing. It's a great time. And also to those of you who give super chats, especially when you give me super chats so that I can actually eat dinner. It's greatly appreciated. On top of that, I'd like to remember that every Friday we have Lore Book Club, which is not like if you do not have a copy of Encyclopedia Eorzea 1, we can fix that. The Lore Book Club, you can just go sign up for it, and you can come and we just talk. We go section by section through Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1. It's a great way to get into the lore. Saturdays we have community streams. If there's specific things you want to do for the community streams or would like to join the community streams, make sure to go jump into the Discord and ask about that. Looks like this week we'll probably be doing Blue Mage or Eureka and Baja. It just depends on what works out. Yeah, that should be everything. Let me make sure to check chat. Gentlemen of Light, Omnicrafters for life. I'm biased though. The whole reason I ever even made my mail as them was loving my retainer in the Fancy Boy top. Pump it up in Discord. Exactly, Pumpernickel. Thank you. Yeah, Cult of the Omnicrafters. Welcome newcomers. Yep, dude, Omnicrafting. That's where it's at. We replay the game on all my alts in English, and while I enjoy the new dub that starts in Heaven's Word overall, the performance the actors feel more consistent with the Nihongo dub. Do you mean that because of A Realm Reborn to Heaven's Word? Because otherwise, I actually, one of the reasons I don't like the Nihongo dub is because of, I actually feel like there's too much variance in certain places, and then other characters don't change there enough, and their inflection comes from certain rising intonation that's, like, subtle enough that it's not that auditorily interesting to me. There's a lot of great actors in the English dub, though, which will surprise me. Don't get me wrong, the Japanese one is phenomenal, too, so it's not like being like, oh, that one's bad. It's just like, for me, that is my mindset, my feelings. Thank you so much for the stream. Really enjoying the progress you're making. Thank you, Atelier. Raiji, might be interested in having my low-key join the FC. Please do. Gonna get ready for the running Agalea on our FC. Yes, we're gonna be running Agalea after the stream, so if you want to, come join the Discord, and we will get that all set up. Fun times. Exactly, Ariel. Fun times indeed. Raffle! Yes! Thank you, Ray Ray. So on next community live stream, we will be doing our T emote raffle. Thanks to this community, we were able to earn about $85 to be able to buy a bunch of T emotes. So we're going to be raffling away 10 of those T emotes next community live stream. If you'd like to sign up for that, you need to join the Discord and you need to go to our announcements and click the T emote on the T post. However, I'd like to point out, if you go do that and you only do that, and you don't discuss or talk to people or like just even engage at a little bit, introduce yourself, something, we'll know, and you won't be counted. Please don't do that. Thank you. Thanks. Yes, Chris, you're welcome. You tell him, Ray. Yes, indeed. Yu Yu Hase JP is best voice actor. That's a thought that some people agree with. Great team as per usual. Thanks, Brooke. I'm glad you liked it. Auroria, I can join. Just need to switch to main. Sounds good. In fact, I will do the same right now. Why don't I? While on stream, I'm going to do some heresy. I'm not going to play as Elio for a second. And we'll see. Seeing as we still have 5 minutes left until the stream ends. Technically. However, I'll probably be ending it up right away. But yeah. I know I'm forgetting something. I'm always forgetting something. But yeah, if you'd like to join us, we're gonna be on Crystal, so you technically have to have a character on Crystal. And it'll be fun. And I'll be hanging up here in as soon as my character logs in. I don't know why I'm waiting, but hi. Bye. Hello again. How are you? There we go. I come join, but I'm on like, oh, sorry, boss. One of the things I'll say is that with 6.18, we're going to be having the ability for like primal and crystal and stuff to play. One of the things I'd like to say though is that also we're going to be having full cross serval travel probably by the time of 7.0. So I'm really looking forward to be able to playing with all of you. Oh yes, Ariel says, like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Come check out our old videos. If you haven't watched all of End Talkers yet, I highly recommend you go watch our End Talkers podcast as me and Aniri dive through the entirety of Endwalker from beginning to end. You can also check out our Lore Talk podcast, which are great. I mean, they're kind of podcasts. They're kind of... Definitely check them out. If you haven't watched any of our other recent videos, or even some of our old videos, make sure to go look at those as well. It does a lot to help support us, and does a lot to push those out to other peoples. Yeah, you're welcome, Eden. I will see all of y'all. I'll see all of you Thursday, hopefully. And for many of you, I will see you either on the Discord or in Hydaelyn in about 60 seconds. And I'm out. Okay, have a lovely day, everyone. Let's go find the end stream button.